Norris comes with David to the net, short.
Path back to peace and clarity.
David to the net, short side save. Rebounds.
My friend, there's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Say, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca and let's get to work for you.
Why should you drive a Subaru? How about durability, style, and an excellent customer experience from the moment you step into the showroom? And how about accolades, including awards for numerous 2026 Subaru models from both AutoTrader and JD Power? But don't just take my word for it. Take a test drive and you'll see why the Subaru name is recognized and renowned for quality. To learn more, visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
The Jason Gregor Show.
David to the net, north side save. Rebounds. It's going to be exciting.
On Sports 1440.
Bouchard. McDavid. Career. 4-1. That's it.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Split the Darnell Norris across. That was Tim. Rebound fast. 6-1. Oilers. I'll give a little extra brass bonanza for you on a positive Friday. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram and Twitch. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. As always, we appreciate it. The Oilers are into the playoffs. They will be hosting the Anaheim Ducks starting on Monday night. And 8 o'clock, which we all know means 8:20. So either way, rock and roll. That will be the start of the 2026 playoffs for the Edmonton Oilers. And well, I can only speak for myself, but I have to say that I'm rather excited that it'll be covering a team other than the Los Angeles Kings in the first round, just because the Kings, to me, I don't think are overly exciting to watch. All right, it's just that simple. So that's how I look at it. So see where it goes. The Oilers last night, Matt Savoy, first ever NHL hat trick, first rookie to score a hat trick since Nail Yakupov did it. You know, the Oilers rookie hat tricks, the last three have come against the Vancouver Canucks. Savoy, Yakupov. And do you remember who did it before him? He's still on the team, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Taylor Hall also had a hat trick, but it wasn't against the Vancouver Canucks. Then you go back, there's other guys like, man, if we did, and I actually had the tweet last night. If you did the list, and maybe you've seen it now, but if I would have asked players, you have to guess the rookies who have scored a hat trick for the Edmonton Oilers. I think there'd be a lot of people that would be like, what? Who? The first three were actually Yari Curry in 1980-81. He had three. Glenn Anderson had two after Curry had three that year. So they were the first two in 1980-81. Then Gord Shervin had one in October of 1984. Then Marty Jelena, a key contributor to the Kid Line, had one in March of 1990. 3 months later, they hoisted the Stanley Cup. Well, 2 actually, late May. In February of 94, Brent Grieve. Now, if you would have gotten that one, because trust me, I didn't remember that one. If you would have gotten Brent Grieve, you would be a diehard Oiler statistician of everybody, remembering him in 1994. David Oliver. Hey, Oliver, you're Oliver the Ice in 1995. Had a hat trick. Rem the Gem Murray had one in 96. Then Pisani in 03. Hall in February of 11, Nugent Hopkins in October of 11, and Yakupov in April of 2013. So it had been 13 years since a rookie had scored a hat trick. David didn't do it. Draisaitl didn't do it. Bouchard didn't do it. Many others. But Matt Savoy gets it done in the final game of the season. Bouchard, 3 assists, 95 points. Evan Bouchard was already in a pretty exclusive club. He joins an even more exclusive club as defenseman to score 95 points in a season. He is the 10th player all time. That is, that's pretty impressive. Obviously, you have Bobby Orr, who was the first defenseman to do it. You have Paul Coffey, who's done it multiple times. Al McInnes, Brian Leach, Dennis Potvin, Eric Carlson, Phil Housley had 97 points. Ray Bourque had 96, as did Roman Josi, and Evan Bouchard, 95. Pretty impressive. So Bouchard, Josi, and Carlson are the only active defensemen in the NHL to have scored 95 points in a season. Will it be enough to win a Norris? I don't know. I think Evan Bouchard should be a finalist for sure. I think there's, I've been a voter now for, I think it's 11 years. And I can tell you without a doubt, this year's voting for the Norris, not only was it hard to slot number 1 and number 2 and number 3, but it got hard to 4 and 5. I had to leave some guys off the ballot that I'm like, man, I can't leave this guy off the ballot. Like the Hart Trophy for me, can only speak for myself. I had 3 people that were in one category, and then it came down to a little bit of decision making on who's 1, who's 2, and who's 3. 4 and 5 for me, I thought were kind of obvious. I'm sure people would have other people, but nothing like the Norris. Like the Norris, I looked and said, man, so you've got Bouchard, and you've got Werenski, and you've got Makar, and you've got Hudson, and you've got Deline, and you've got Mo Seider, and you got Miro Heiskanen. Right? Some people had Quinn Hughes. Me personally, no. But I'm sure he'll be on some people's ballots. I'd love to see the rationale. And I've seen people, because the best part is, how many people, because when I put it out there online about Quinn Hughes and how many goals against he'd had, they're like, yeah, but it's because he was in Vancouver. No, it wasn't. He played 26 games in Vancouver. His goals against was 26. His expected goals against, which a lot of the analytics people will tell you, well, that's a more accurate number. Guess what it was? 26.4. Yeah. Then he played 48 games in Minnesota. You know how many goals against 5-on-5 he was on for? 56. So 56 and 48 games in Minnesota, 26 and 26 games in Vancouver. Yet everybody will tell you, oh, no, it was his time in Vancouver, man. He spent so much time in Vancouver. No, he played 26 games. Right? Basically a third of the season. Just under, actually. And, hey, Quinn Hughes is a really good defenseman, but his stats this season alone, this year, don't add up. They don't. He's a minus player overall. None of the other guys are a minus player. He's +4 at 5-on-5. Even if you want to go on expected, say I don't like to use goals. Okay, go on expected goals. His expected goals against is 5 to 15 higher than all the other top contenders. He doesn't score as many goals. He scored like a third of the amount of goals as Radish and Bouchard and Seider and Makar. So what? What is it? Where is he number 1? Doesn't have the most assists. Doesn't have the most points. What are we talking? Like, I'm sorry. I don't vote on reputation. If I'd give any advice to a voter, don't vote on reputation. Vote on what happened this season. It doesn't mean Quinn Hughes isn't a great defenseman. He wasn't as good from start to finish, because you can't discount. No one wins an award based on 48 games unless it's a lockout season and there's 48 games. It's the only time you win an award on 48 games. Okay? Just doesn't happen. So that's the one where I'm sorry, I don't even have it in my top 7. But it was tough to even leave 2 guys off the ballot for me. So the awards, of course, will be announced throughout the NHL playoffs. What I do like this year, and this, because so the professional hockey writers vote on the Hart, the Norris, the Calder, the Selke, the Lady Byng, and the All-Star teams. First and second team All-Star, as well as the All-Rookie team. The one that changed this year, thankfully, is the GM of the Year award. Because they used to wait until the conference finals. And guess what? Almost every year, 3 of the 4 conference final GMs were GM of the Year. It was a joke. Like, I'm sorry. Because you haven't done anything once the playoffs start as a GM. The GM award should be voted on now. Because what happens in now you're voting, well, guess what? If the team wins, then he did a better job. And if they don't win, well, he didn't do as good of a job. Ridiculous. You should say, hey, he did a good job from July 1st until now. Because that's what it is. Right? So I do like that they've actually moved it up because it was becoming a little bit ridiculous. Oh, your team's in the conference final? You clearly must have done an unbelievable. How many acquisitions? Well, I only made 1 trade this year and signed everybody else. Oh, unbelievable GMing. Like, what? What are we talking about? So I do like that they've switched that up a little bit. If you don't know, you'll know now. The schedule is out for the first round of the playoffs for the Oilers. They're going to start Monday, then they'll play Wednesday at home, both at 8 o'clock. They'll play Friday in Anaheim, 8 o'clock. Then they'll play Sunday, the 26th, half an hour earlier at 7:30 Edmonton time. Then it'll be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, May 2nd, if there is indeed a game 7. That'll be in Edmonton. So plan your schedule accordingly. The Oilers are playing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, so no days off in between. They're actually, Utah plays Sunday, Tuesday, then they get an extra day off between Utah and Vegas. Then they go Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Colorado and LA will go Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. Then they have 2 extra days. Then they'll go Sunday again in LA, not till the Wednesday. So they have twice 2 days between games to stretch out that series. So it starts on the Saturday, the 19th, but ends on the 3rd. So starts the day before. The Oilers could finish after, if indeed they go 7. I don't think LA and Colorado are going 7. Maybe the Kings surprise me, but I don't see the Kings pushing that series to 7 games. Minnie and Dallas will play Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. 2 days off, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. That's the West. If you are a fan of the Eastern Conference team that's in, we have starting on Saturday, Ottawa, Carolina. They'll play Saturday, Monday, extra day off. Then they play Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday. So Ottawa and Carolina getting a lot of the Saturday games. Interesting enough. Philly and Pittsburgh will play Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, day off, extra Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. So that schedule as well could be lots of Saturday games. The Habs and Tampa, Sunday, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. I can't believe Montreal doesn't have a Saturday night game. Like, all you need to know about who controls the television networks, the U.S. How does Montreal, the mecca of hockey, make no mistake about it, it is. And they're not playing Hockey Night in Canada on a Saturday in Montreal, but they're going to play multiple ones with Ottawa. Like, no offense to Ottawa, but come on, it's not even close, right? Like, they've got 3 Saturdays for Ottawa. So that's a little bit weird, but that'll tell you all you need to know. Oilers do have 1 Saturday scheduled. It is game 7 if necessary. So there you have it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 is where you can text us today. We got lots and lots to discuss on the show. There is so much going on right now in the world of sports. I love it. You got NBA playoffs, play-in games tonight, and then of course you have tomorrow. They start. The Raptors will be in action against Cleveland. NHL playoffs begin tomorrow. First game will be Ottawa and Carolina, 1 o'clock Edmonton time. You also have IndyCar back in action. If you're an IndyCar racer, you've got WHL moving to the second round. BCHL also, same thing. So lots and lots of playoffs for you. We got Matthew Barnaby will join us today. We'll talk the Buffalo Sabres. They're back, baby. Are they going to win a round? We'll see. Reggie McClellan will join us from the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame. He's also in the builder category for wheelchair basketball. Big event going on in Edmonton. We'll talk about that. Corey Lavallet will join us from Carolina. Is Carolina Ottawa? Are they like looking in a mirror in how they play? Similar, very similar styles in how they play. And some equal question marks in goal. Brandon Bussy's going to get his first start as an NHL goalie in the playoffs. But guess what? He is he's more in the norm. Look at the goalies though. Now Connor Ingram has 3 starts in the playoffs in his career. You have Wedgwood has none. Wallstead has none, and they've announced it in Minnesota that he's going to be the starter. You have Dan Vladar in Philadelphia. No career NHL starts. Against Pittsburgh, Stuart Skinner has 50. Shilovs has 10. Dobish has 2 career playoff starts for the Montreal Canadiens, going up against Vasilevsky, who has, boatload. He's got to be close to 90, I would think. I got to get the exact number in my head here, but there's a clear advantage. I think it's safe to say in goalie starts for Vasilevsky. At this point, he has made 115 starts compared to the 2 for Dobish. Jeremy Swayman has 18 UPL for Buffalo. This will be his first start. There's quite a few of them. So Buffalo, Carolina, lots of inexperience. Dostal for Anaheim. It'll be his first career playoff start. Vejmelka, Utah. So there's a lot. It's great. I like it. That's what you should want, to be honest. Get in there. And who knows how they're going to play, right? We'll see how they play. You never know. Until you get in there, everything's different, right? The game's a little bit quicker. There's a little bit more pressure. There's more excitement. Who knows? Maybe there'll be Patrick Waugh. Maybe it'll be Ken Dryden. No one thought Ken Dryden and Patrick Waugh were going to do what Ken Dryden and Patrick Waugh did, right? We never know. What about Aiden Hill recently for Vegas? Who thought Aiden Hill was going to come in and help backstop his team to a Stanley Cup? Right? Jordan Binnington, first year in the playoffs. He went all the way to the Cup. It can happen. So you never know. That's what makes the playoffs so awesome. Con Man, out of the 8 playoff series, which one intrigues you the most?
I mean, it would be like, which one intrigues me the least? And I could confidently tell you Avs and Kings. I think that I'm really looking forward to the Central, of course, Stars and Wild. We know that division's going to be a bloodbath, and the team that comes out of it will be battle tested, but might be in a little bit of pain as well. I also like the Bruins and Sabres. I can't wait to see game 1 in Buffalo. I think the atmosphere is going to be unbelievable. They've obviously waited as long as they have. We know it's a good hockey market. They are put to the test with the decade plus of darkness. And I think that's going to be a fun series. I think Bruins head coach Marcos will say, we're bigger, we're stronger. Their average height is the exact same, but you got to have that mindset. So I think that'll be a fun one. And then Lightning Canadian, another one is I'm really fired up for. I think it's easier to find one that I'm not fired up for, Gregor, because I think there's so many good series here.
Well, Colorado, LA, does that intrigue you at all?
No, that's the one.
No.
Yeah, give me Avs in 4.
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I think the West has a series that will be, I think, a little bit more one-sided. I think Edmonton. I think Colorado. I know some people are really liking Utah. I know Vegas is. I think Vegas wins that one. Now it might be probably closer than the Colorado LA series. Carolina, Ottawa. I can see why lots of people would pick Carolina. I get it. I think Ottawa is Ottawa of all the wild card teams. I give Ottawa the best chance to win a series. And to me, if Allmark is just, he doesn't have to be great. If he is just solid, Ottawa can win. Boston has a good chance against Buffalo. I will admit wholeheartedly, I'm picking completely with my heart on Buffalo. I don't know, when you see a team in a city and a franchise and a fan base be that bad for that long, I'd like to see them win a playoff round. I don't have Buffalo going to the Cup or winning the Cup, but I'd like to see them win a round. So that's where I come on that. And you know what? We'll go to Buffalo next. Matthew Barnaby will join us, talk Sabres, Bruins, the rivalry. It's been a long time, but just that atmosphere back in Buffalo should be fun. Next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Hold on to your hockey helmets, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 69-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadian and Coors Light for $5.75. Plus, OTR's TVs are so clear, you'll see the puck better than the ref.
That ain't hard, is it?
Score and win every game night during Edmonton's playoff run with specials starting 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports is Sports 1440.
From Low Tide to Kevin Karius and Jason Gregor, we deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
Tune in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week
to Sports 1440.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacing, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McPicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or on the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. For a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Heavy Truck Auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m. with tandem and single axle trucks, including tractors, decks, dumps, man lifts, vacs, pickers, service, shunt, and tank trucks, plus more. Info at maauctions.com.
Hey, Dan, want to hit the bike trails this weekend?
Oh, I wish. My bike's completely messed up, though.
Looks like someone needs to go to St. Albert's Source for Sports. This spring, hit the trails and pass with confidence behind the handles of a new Specialized bike. Because you're guaranteed to keep on riding at St. Albert's Source for Sports.
Ready now?
Sort of. Got the new bike.
Nice.
But I didn't think to buy a helmet.
St. Albert's Source for Sports. Your bike headquarters for over 35 years.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Equipment Auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. featuring backhoes, excavators, forklifts, man lifts, wheel loaders, packers, road reclaimers, skid steers, telehandlers, turf mowers, plus commercial trailers and more. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5958 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
So Friday rolls on. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are ready for the weekend. It's going to warm up. Nice. We're talking double digits, high teens. By Monday, for those of you that will be going to the outdoor games, well, I should say outdoor game of the watch parties, we're talking maybe 19, 20 degrees. So that should be good. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We have lots to get to as you look at starting goalies with limited playoff experience. And we have a lot of people asking, Gregor, what was the list again? Well, so Andrei Vasilevsky, obviously he's a little bit different. He started 115 games. Okay, so he's the most. Then you go to the next goalie, Jake Ottinger, is at 63. Next up, Stuart Skinner, 50. Now it starts to drop off a little bit. Goes from Skinner at 50. Now, we keep in mind Anderson is in Carolina, but he's not starting yet, so I'm not including him. Jeremy Swayman then goes to 18. So there's 4 goalies who have played 18 or more playoff games. Keep going down. Linus Ullmark started 15. Carter Hart has started 14. Now, Minnesota's going with their guy who has no starts over the guy who has 11 starts. Scrolling down still, and I'm only including starts. I'm not including appearances. Guy comes in for 10 minutes and mop-up duty to me doesn't count. Mackenzie Blackwood, 7. They came last season for the Colorado Avalanche. She's had 7 career starts. You go to, oh man, like there's a lot of goalies here. Connor Ingram, 3 career playoff starts. His number, now he does have 4 games played, but 3 start. He's yet to win a game. So when he gets a win against the Ducks, that'll be his first playoff victory. He has a .913 save percentage all time in the postseason. 3.64 goals against average. Other goalies, Dobish has started twice for the Montreal Canadiens, and that's it. So JPL in Boston, no starts. Bussy in Carolina, no starts. Who am I missing after that? Montreal, Tampa Bay, Boston, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. Dan Vladar, no starts. Move over to the West. Dostal, Anaheim Ducks, no starts. Forsberg, no starts for the LA Kings. Now, if Wedgwood plays for Colorado, that would be his first playoff start. Wallstead, Minnesota. Going to get his first playoff start. Vejmelka, Utah. First playoff start. So there's a lot of them. It'll be fun to see, does playoff experience matter that much or not? But it's to me, it's great to get some new blood in, to get some new faces, and some new opportunities. Should be fun. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Cons, let's we don't have Barnaby? No. Okay, let's get to Connor Murphy then. So we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Commons, your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. I caught up. We'll get to Murphy in a second. And caught up to Murphy. Did you know that he has played in the playoffs before? However, he did not play with any fans in the stands. He played in the bubble in 2020. And, he admitted it. It was funny because last night, there was a few hits. The crowd went crazy. The fights, people are going nuts. And he even talked about how when he played in the bubble with Chicago, got into 9 games, that, like when you block a shot, lots of times, like, the bench, okay, and maybe they see it or not, but the crowd, somebody in the crowd sees and there's always a cheer. And when you're not a goal scorer and you're not a point guy, that's fine. Like, it doesn't mean it's not important, but he just says, like, it really amps you up more when the crowd gets into it. In the playoffs, there's a big hit, the crowd goes crazy. There's a key block shot at a certain time. Not every block shot, of course, but a key block shot, the crowd sees it, they love it, especially on the penalty kill, right? Or if you have some miraculous one on the 5-on-5. And it's the little things like that. Scrums happen, the crowd gets into it. And he can't wait. He has played 825 regular season games. Monday night will be his first with fans in the stands. And also, his dad, maybe you don't know this, but his father, Gord Murphy, of course, longtime NHLer. Gord was part of that, the Rat Pack in 1996 that surprised everybody and went all the way to the Stanley Cup final. He's played 862 games. Now, his dad's first year in the NHL with the Flyers got into 19 NHL games. Not bad in 1989. Went all the way to the conference finals. Pretty fun. Then he made the conference finals again in 92 with Boston. Then with Florida, went all the way to the Stanley Cup final. So he's had some playoff experience. And his dad's been coaching a lot in the NHL. He was an assistant in Columbus for 7 years. He's an assistant in Florida for 4, in Philadelphia, and then is most recently with the New York Rangers in 2023. Like, he's been assistant coach for almost 2 decades. So he really hasn't got to see his son play live very often. He never obviously didn't get to see him play in the playoffs because there was no fans in the stands. So I was talking to him about just how jazzed up his dad and his mom are. Like, they're coming in for game 1. They'll be there on Monday. They can't wait. So here I sat down with Connor Murphy, getting set to talk about the playoffs. So you're in the playoffs. It's just a matter of where you're going to play and who you're going to play. But that experience with the crowd, something that you haven't experienced. How excited are you? How do you approach it?
I'm really excited. I just think of watching and being a part of intense games and knowing more so the little moments in the game and the reaction it gets from crowds. I think in a regular season game, whether you throw a hit or a block shot, sometimes you might hear a few people give a little bit of something, but usually not a lot. Other than goals, you're not getting as big of roars or as big of an intense feeling from momentum shifts. And I think that's what I'm most excited for, is to hear that and feel that energy of a face-off, of a line rush, of a penalty kill, to feel that intensity and really ride that adrenaline rush.
Your game would seem, from an outside perspective, is perfectly suited for the playoffs. Guy who likes to play physical. That's when the games are more physical. Is it easier for your style of play?
I'd say so. I think so. Yeah, I think it's harder when, specifically for myself, I find playing some teams that are smaller, that don't like to play physical, that want to play off you most of the game. It's almost harder because you don't feel a lot of contact, and when they're forechecking you, they're not coming through you, so you kind of can't read which side of your body they're going to take when you're trying to make passes. And there's little parts of the game that I feel like, as a lot of players, especially defensemen, physical ones, if you can feel a hit, whether you're getting hit or giving a hit, it gets you into the game, and it gets your it just gets your balance, your physicality, your intensity up right away, and it allows you to get a read for defending on who's your guy. And even when they're forechecking you and they come through you, you feel kind of that pressure and knowing where to release and bump pucks and pass your partner. So overall, I just prefer the physicality.
Darnell just mentioned he feels a big reason to the success you two have had as a pair is you're similar in your goals, as far as just go out there and defend hard, and you can kind of feed off one another. When one guy's attacking and knowing maybe the timing of when he goes where I go, how has that helped you?
Yeah, it's helped just because, like you said, when you have a guy that thinks similarly to how he wants to pressure and the goal he has for the game and for a shift and what he wants to imply as a if you know going into a corner he's going to look to do what you would do, and that's get a stick on puck and get physical, then you can read off that and know that you can jump the next guy that forward has an option to get. And once you can pressure hard and smother teams defensively, as 5 we've been trying to do that as a team. I think it just makes defending quicker and better, and it doesn't matter how skilled the other team is. If they don't have time and space, you're not going to make as many plays.
I don't know that there's a big game on Thursday, so it's not like I'm looking ahead of it. But the playoffs are a guarantee. It's just a matter of where you're going to slot in. And the mindset of it when it changes, because you've played in it without crowds, but you still played in it, that just switch. Is it easy to do, having done it once before, or is every year different?
I would think every year's different. There's so much that goes into it. It's whether the momentum you're riding from your play or from the team's play or who you're playing against, what that matchup's going to be, travel, how guys are health-wise. There's like different things that play into effect for each series or each season in general. So I don't think there's too much to look into as far as expecting something, how you're going to feel or what's going to happen. I think over the course of my career, I've learned that however you feel or however that first shift goes or however the first game goes, you ride it and you just you approach your best you can with every day and every moment you have.
The energy about you come into a team that's been to back-to-back cups. Do you sense the switch and attention to detail? Because the team as a group defensively for the, maybe outside of that Utah game here, the last 10, there's been a significant improvement in the awareness and the commitment defensively.
Yeah, there has been. I could see since I got here the seriousness that switched into our play. You can tell with the guys, the experience they have and how much they want to be in these big moments and get to the final. You can just feel that it's not just being satisfied with having a good record and having a chance to make the playoffs. And there's not even really like a reward for just that. It's about getting that Stanley Cup. And I think that's what makes it so admirable to be here as a player to join. You want to be a part of guys that have that ultimate goal of reaching the top and not just satisfied with getting wins and making the playoffs. So you can see that in their play and how the seriousness has amped up in the details of the game and making sure that we're defending as a whole, knowing that we can create some offense with our star power.
Can you grow a good beard?
So no, not at all. That's probably what I'm most worried about. I'm not as worried about the defending and the penalty kill as I am about what this beard's going to do. It's more of a chin and lazy mustache. So I might have to trim the cheeks because it just gets the odd hair. Or it might be too late to go to Thailand to get some hair implanted there, but we'll work on it.
And I know your wife's here, of course, and your young child, but any parents, family, anybody planning on coming in for the playoff games, at least for a few games a series?
Definitely, yeah. My parents are going to come right away. My dad's coached and played in the NHL for a while and hasn't got a chance to see me play in the playoffs ever. And really, a lot of times he's coaching, he didn't get to see me play in general. So for him to not be coaching now and have the time to come will be awesome. And he actually coached with Nauber in Hartford years ago. So there's been a connection with him and them. So it'll be a really big moment for our family to be here for that.
So there you have it. Little connection from dad coach with them, and now his son is playing for Chris Knobloch. And I will say the Nugent Hopkins, Connor Murphy beard growing contest, that might be the toughest battle as far as the beards grow, right? Some guys obviously can grow them right away, right? Adam Henrique is a guy who's, I think he's already got his beard. He's one of those guys who, it's like Connor Halley, grows a beard in like 2 days. So other guys, it takes a little time to fill it in. But Murphy and Nurse have been very good here down the stretch. But so have the Edmonton Oilers. As I mentioned, in the last 10 games, Colorado has allowed 20 goals. The Oilers have allowed 22. The Oilers are second best of all the playoff teams, second lowest goals against. Vegas is next at 2.3. You know what? You're going to win a lot of games when you're the Edmonton Oilers when you start lowering your goals against, because the Oilers can score. The Oilers have 6 20-goal scorers. Nugent Hopkins got his 20th last night. They have 8 18-goal scores, which is, I am 90% certain that that is the most in the NHL. Carolina has the most 20-goal scores. They had 7. But if you add up like the total of their 20-goal scores to other teams, the Oilers' 20-goal scores combined to score more, right? Like, because they don't have Seth Jarvis leads them with 32. Obviously, Connor McDavid has 48 for the Edmonton Oilers. Carolina does have 8 18-goal scorers. just like the Edmonton Oilers do. So Oilers scoring depth is not an issue at all. So I wouldn't be too concerned about it. So we switched up. Barnaby is going to come now at 3:00. So we'll take a quick break. We got lots more texts coming in. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, playoff starts. You addressed one of the reasons I was against the Skinner trade. Dan in SG, which I'm guessing is Spruce Grove. Hey, we can look back on that deal. And if you don't make that trade and you just recall Connor Ingram, all right? Now, and see, here's the weird thing. So when we say what ifs, but let's say you don't make that trade. We don't know when they would have called up Connor Ingram. Because the reason Connor Ingram got recalled was because Tristan Jarry got hurt. Right? That's why they did it. And it worked out in a weird way. Now, and that's why when we play the what if game and we're like, okay, well, what if they don't trade for him? Well, okay, let's say they don't trade for him. I can't say for certain when they would have recalled Connor Ingram. I have no idea. And who knows? Maybe he would have got injured down in the minor somehow. Maybe he wouldn't have played as well. We'll never know. So you certain times you can, if you wish a trade hadn't happened, then you always have to look at all the consequences. Like people say, well, Chris Pronger, if he didn't come here, sure. Well, how do we know what would have happened? So maybe the Oilers wouldn't have gone anywhere. 2006, would have been a bust, and maybe they would have traded off some other guys. Who knows? Maybe maybe you don't win the draft lottery years later, right? The butterfly effect, if you believe in it. So you can. All I know is the Oilers, that trade right now hasn't looked great. Valid. But the Oilers have a goalie right now who's playing very well. It's just not the one they acquired for in that trade. They did acquire Connor Ingram for nothing. Remember that. So that trade worked out really well. So they're batting 50%. Not great, but better than zero. Quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lotteries, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play.
Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
For the first time in 66 years, Golden Bears and Pandas hockey are on the move. During the 2026-27 Canada West season, two of the most successful hockey programs in U Sports history will call Silent Ice Center in Nisku their temporary home. The Golden Bears and Pandas are excited to connect with the South Edmonton community and welcome new fans to experience the tradition and excitement of U of A hockey. Same tradition, new temporary home. Golden Bears and Pandas hockey at Silent Ice Center for the 26-27 season.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
A relaxing day at the lake without a Toyota Tundra can be noisy. But when you get a Tundra at your local Toyota dealer, you can take advantage of up to 11,000 pounds of towing capacity to find a quieter spot. That's better. Lease a 2026 Tundra 4x4 double cab SR5 from $149 weekly for 60 months at 5.29% APR with $8,799 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers' push to the playoffs is on, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play, score, and win every game. See more at OnTheRocksYEG.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
2:45. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely Friday afternoon. And playoffs are here. Start tomorrow, NBA, NHL. We love it. Oilers and Ducks. You get a little time to relax. Monday night. The Oilers, actually, there'll be a few series that have already started their second game before the Oilers and the Ducks get going, which is similar to last year. This is 3 years in a row that the Oilers have had a little extra day off before the playoffs begin. Leon Draisaitl was skating on a normal line today with Podkolzin and Kapanen. Chris Knobloch still not commenting on if he's going to play or not. He did say, hey, we practiced him. We want to try to get him into situations because that's who he's going to play with, basically. When he's in the lineup, that's who he's going to go with, Podkolzin and Kapanen, because that's who they played with. So, who knows? That was the lines today. They have a day off tomorrow. They'll practice again on Sunday. I would assume Draisaitl will be there. Dickinson is going to skate and practice with the team on Sunday. He skated on his own today. He will practice with the team on Sunday. And does that mean he's ready to go on Monday? We'll see. Chris Knobloch told me he's highly motivated to play. So don't rule out Dickinson either. Interesting. In the meantime, let's get into our community report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or your AC. Bundle them together. You'll save even more at legacyheating.ca. And ongoing right now and wrapping up this weekend, it's the Canadian Wheelchair Basketball Finals would go Friday to Sunday down at the Saville Community Center. 22 teams of elite athletes from across Canada are competing. And you can go to sports1440.ca for more information to talk about all of that. Gentleman who's in the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame in the Builders category, who, of course, played wheelchair basketball back with the Vancouver Cable Cars with Rick Hansen, Terry Fox, and others. Reggie McClellan joins us. Reg, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm just hanging right in there doing well.
Awesome. So now, Reg, you're from Saskatchewan. You played hockey, and then you had a spinal cord injury that left you as a paraplegic. Before we get into the wheel, I kind of want to talk a little bit about that journey and just the challenges of that, and what was the hardest part mentally for you to accept that?
Well, come to terms with the fact that you're not going to be in the NHL or anything of that nature is probably a big part of it. But I was dreaming at that anyway, I suppose. But that was a big thing. But I tell you, as soon as you end up in that situation, there's an awful lot of people around that provide all kinds of information, and you grow very quickly. The education process is in high gear at that stage, and one of the nice things, I guess, at the time was that the rehab unit was at the U of A,
okay,
and that was a big sort of community to be moved into, and it made it a whole lot easier to sort of come to terms with your new situation.
So what year did you suffer your spinal cord injury?
That was in 72.
72. Okay. And then you started playing wheelchair basketball in Edmonton 4 years later in 1976. You were obviously an athlete beforehand, so I think there's just something about competition that was inherently in you. Is that why? And what drew you to wheelchair basketball?
Well, I actually started playing wheelchair basketball probably as soon as I got into a chair.
Okay.
I had the good fortune of being on Station 66. That was the rehab floor, I guess. And Station 67 was what was known as the polio ward. And Gary McPherson, mother, was resident in that area.
Okay.
And he was very involved in wheelchair sports with the Canadian Wheelchair Sports Association, along with a handful of other folks, including Dr. Bob Stedward, and other folks that all together were providing a very, very strong community that touched every part of Edmonton, actually. So that made it a whole lot easier getting involved in different things, because it was a very nurturing environment, I guess is the way I would say it.
So you mentioned Gary McPherson because he was the GM in 1979, right? For the Lights basketball team. How much of an influence did he have on you playing and ultimately getting involved?
Oh, everything. I was not even in a chair yet. As a matter of fact, I was out for about 17 days, I think, after the accident. And it was shortly after that Gary came in. I was in bed and started talking to me about, where I came from, what I was doing, and different things that were that people were doing now in chairs and stuff like that. So I got to meet him, right off the bat, and he had a big influence. He became known as Mother. I ended up running the team, I guess, from the beginning up until 79. But it had the influence of Gary, Bob, and a whole lot of other folks, along the way there.
We are discussing with Reggie McClellan, of course, who is a member of the one of the originals here in the wheelchair basketball. Of course, played for the Lights, very good team. The first Canadian team to actually make it to the NWBA finals. Back when you had a triple overtime win in Eugene, Oregon. You've had a long run in wheelchair basketball, and now the finals are on. So is it fair to say, like in every sport, if you look at when you played until now in 2026, how has the wheelchair basketball game evolved?
Our equipment is certainly a whole lot better today, and there's a lot more opportunity to get into first-class products, and those products have made a big difference. The coaching, the number of folks that are in the sport today, coming into the sport, perhaps with a better introduction to a person that has ended up in that kind of a situation. Just because there is more education and more accessibility to a number of things. As a matter of fact, the amount of accessibility there is for people that have ended up in chairs is sometimes taking away from the development of some of the sports, because back in the early 70s, the only real team sport around was wheelchair basketball.
Okay.
Sledge hockey, we were using that as a cross training sort of situation, but there was no league or anything of that nature. So, you know, you had a more captive audience, I guess, at the time. So.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. So you look kind of for people maybe that are interested to go and watch this weekend, what can they expect?
Well, the game is certainly faster today than it's ever been. And the rules have evolved to a point where it makes the flow of the game faster as well. And I think that there's going to be some tight competition in the top division for sure. That has an awful lot of folks that have some fairly well-honed skills, and I think they're going to, certainly show an awful lot of the people that are not really students of the game what folks are capable of. But, you know, early on we started the highlights program, and that program has been running in the schools ever since.
Okay.
And so we've got an awful lot of kids that have grown up in Edmonton that have been involved in playing a little bit of wheelchair basketball and familiar with chairs and people that might be using them. But more so than that, I mentioned community earlier on. There was a general thought within the organization from day one that, you know, everybody that was involved was going to be involved in school or a job or training or something, so that they're evolving off court as well as being the best that they could be on court. And we were mixed up with the community, with everything that the Eskimos were doing, the Oilers were doing, even the Trappers. There was always a component of wheelchair basketball that was with those organizations, as in the Eskimos coming out and playing, the Oilers coming out and playing.
I remember that.
You know, guys, yeah. And that went on for years. And we even had a league at that time called the Montgomery League, where Wes was promoting that on Monday nights. And of course, his buddy Tom came out and helped me a lot as a coach and manager at the time, and also a player on the team, provide some third-party input and direction that way. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is that it was a big community, and there was the foresight of people like Gary, like Bob, and a host of others that saw it as a really important thing to have that sport organization be just as important as any of the other sport organizations in town.
Reggie McClellan joins us. The Canadian Wheelchair Basketball Finals are running this weekend down at the Saville Center tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. I do want to ask you, Gord, I was doing some research. I know that the lights, you guys made the Final Four back in the finals many years ago, but you withdrew. A, is it a true story? And B, why?
Oh my goodness. Now, I don't recall that actually. I certainly remember going to the finals with our team.
Okay.
But I don't. I need a little bit more context on that one.
Well, yeah, okay. Cam Tate had sent me a note about when the lights, you withdrew from the Final Four, and I was curious why. He says it's a good story, so I don't know. We'll have to get Tater to maybe share the story.
I'm going to have to give that Cam fella a call and get refreshed on that.
Yeah. He can tell the story. Maybe he just made it up in his own mind. He has a tendency to do that.
No, I think if Cam remembers that, he's got the detail, and I would just need to be refreshed on that one because there were an awful lot of things that happened that were administratively that we were dealing with, and it had a lot to do with whether or not Canadian teams should even be in the NWPA, which was at the time that we got in '76. There were basically, what the hell was there, about 21 conferences at the time.
Okay.
And about 104 teams. And for a Canadian team to actually make it to the finals, you know, there was questions as to whether that should be the case or not, because I mean, some of our players were on the national team, and a lot of the national team players from the U.S. were on different teams as well. The one that we happened to beat to get to the finals had some of the most prominent national team players on it. And anyway, that's certainly another story there, I guess.
Yeah, well, so clearly the Americans weren't happy with you guys coming in and kicking their ass. Well, that's good. Some things never change. Some things never change, Reg. That's for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
One last one before I let you go. You mentioned the change in equipment. Is it safe to say that today's chairs, you know, there's more ability to move them quicker? They're obviously probably a lot lighter. Would be my number one guess with just the material in them. What's the capability of today's chairs, and what there allows the athletes to do with them that you couldn't do back when you played?
Well, they're certainly stronger, lighter, and they're made more as fixed frame units. There's a lot more attention to detail, as in the center of gravity is now much more forward than what it used to be. The fifth and sixth wheels are allowed now, so that means that your back wheels can be so much farther forward, so you have more of your body weight on top of the back axle or behind the back axle, whereas before, generally speaking, the back axle was almost behind your body weight. Fifth and sixth wheels were not allowed, so you weren't able to sort of tilt in those products because, you know, until we brought Quadra out, and Quadra didn't come in until '79, the chairs that were being used were actually folding wheelchairs. So it was your day chair, and naturally they just did not have the same performance as the products of today. And today strapping is allowed, so wherever the person goes, the chair's going with them. And before, you know, if you wanted to reach a little bit for a ball or something of that nature, I mean, you were flying out of the chair, whereas today you might be hopping sideways, or you might be tilting, or physically throwing your body in a particular direction, and your chair is light enough that it's following you. You know, so it's a whole lot different today.
Well, Reg, we look forward to it. I'm sure you'll be down there enjoying the festivities and the action, 22 top teams, and we'll crown a winner on Sunday. Thanks so much for your time.
No, thank you guys, and go Lights.
There you go. That's Reg McClellan, of course, in the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame, former player as well as coach and GM of the Northern Lights for a long time. Wheelchair basketball is huge, and opportunity this weekend. All the best teams in the country are going to battle it out down at the Saville Center tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Take a quick break. We'll return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Looking for a car, truck, van, SUV this weekend? Oh, it's going to be nice outside. Now you're going to start daydreaming. What do I want? Maybe a convertible? Well, hey, they got everything that you have. 15,000 vehicles to choose from. GoAuto.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Off day in the NHL as the Stanley Cup playoffs get going tomorrow. But some news: the Oilers are calling goaltender Calvin Pickard from the Condors on an emergency basis, while the Vancouver Canucks have fired GM Patrick Allvin after taking the job back in 2022. Major League Baseball, the Jays are in action tonight, 7:40 first pitch as they're taking on the Diamondbacks. We'll have that game for you here on Sports 1440. Also, the Yankees and Royals, Giants into Washington. Rays and Pirates, Twins, Reds, Cards taking on the Astros, Rockies host the Dodgers, and the Mariners taking on the Rangers. In the association, play-in action, 5:30 at the Magic and the Hornets, and at 8 o'clock, the Warriors in the desert taking on the Suns. In the AJ League final game 1, Whitecourt hosting Canmore at 7. In the BCHL round 2 action between Sherwood Park and Brooks. And in the PWHL, Boston traveling to Montreal at 5. From the NFL, Texans and All-Pro defensive end Will Anderson agreeing to a 3-year deal worth $150 million, $134 of which is guaranteed. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host, Wanye Gretz, also former NHLer Matthew Barnaby, and we'll look at the Carolina Hurricanes with Corey Lavallet. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love, better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquacentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
CanTorque has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantorque.com.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
Alan Olson Auctions presents the annual Rimbey Spring Consignment Sale. Online bidding is open right now and starts closing April 20th, ending April 22nd. This massive 5-ring auction includes farm machinery, vehicles, RVs, skid steers, attachments, lawn and garden equipment, livestock equipment, and building materials, tires, tools, and so much more. Plus 3 real estate auctions selling in Rimbey and Parkland County. For more info, call Alan Olson Auctions today at 403-843-2747 or visit alanolsonauction.com.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every Edmonton playoff game for the Legacy Heating and Cooling postgame show. Visit the experts at legacyheating.ca.
Commissioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Heavy Truck Auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m. with tandem and single axle trucks, including tractors, decks, dumps, man lifts, vacs, pickers, service, shunt, and tank trucks, plus more. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
It's after 3 o'clock on a positive Friday. Sun's out. It's nice. Hopefully it stays out. I think I can agree with most of us. And I love snow, but it is April 17th. Like, come on. Let's get some of the golf courses up and rolling. I know many of them are hoping for a start next week. We shall see. We shall see. The Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where Lotto Max tonight. Your opportunity to get in $30 million up for grabs. PlayAlberta.ca. And also, hey, stop in, check out the Jason Gregor Show Osboo special, the Blue Jays. Maybe an upset win tonight. We'll see. And a little NBA play-in action as well. And speaking of playoffs, baby, finally, they are back in Buffalo. As we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. 53 years in business. They become the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, testing, and solar. You need help with electrical? You want to save money with electrical? You do it at actionelectrical.net. And our next guest, probably one of the best guys to talk to when you want to talk about the excitement in Buffalo. When he played, was obviously a fan favorite, and was at a time when the Sabres had made some deep playoff runs, of course, and joins us now, former NHLer, played over 800 NHL games, had over 2,500 penalty minutes. Matthew Barnaby joins us. Matt, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Greg, how you doing, my man? I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I hope things are well. You're coming in town for the ProAm, so we'll see you there next Friday, and we'll get to that in a second. But as a former Buffalo Sabre, and obviously that's where your career started. You had a lot of success there, of course, and you moved on, had success other places. But I think for a lot of players, there's always a part of you that roots for the team you used to play for, and I'm sure the last 14 years have been pretty painful. How nice is it to see the Sabres back in the playoffs?
Yeah, the last 14 years has been like a circumcision without Novocaine. It's been a rough ride for fans alike in Buffalo. So it's great to see them. I've been very critical of everything in Buffalo Sabres land for the last 14 years, but I am so delighted and so excited for the fans to be able to see playoff hockey. Everyone always asks me, like, do you miss playing the game? Listen, how I played, I don't miss the day and the grind of it, but I miss playoff hockey. And playoff hockey in Buffalo, man, it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Like I've said it for the last few months. Buffalo, because we all knew they're going to make the playoffs here for the last few months. But I said, of all the teams, first home game of the playoffs, Buffalo would be the one arena I'd want to be in, because you got like 15 years of pent up frustration and excitement all going to explode. And, the Sabres have been good. Like, it's crazy that it looked like they were going to go to year 15. They were in dead last after 25 games in the Eastern Conference. And then, I don't know, I've never seen a fire a GM and suddenly it turns your season around. So obviously there had to be something else there. But like, they've been one of the NHL's best teams for 50 games. Like, they come in here, not just in the playoffs, but a real shot to win a round.
Man, they were unbelievable the last 2/3 of the year since they fired Kevin Adams. You just change a GM, you swap them out, and guys just start to play. Listen, at the start of the year, Alex Lyon had like a .928 save percentage and was like 0-5 because they couldn't score goals. Then they were scoring goals, and the save percentage was like .840, something ridiculous. And now, listen, Buffalo Sabres are an exciting team to watch. If you watch them on a nightly basis, they're fast, they're tenacious, they work hard, and they're very deep. You got Tage Thompson, you got Alex Tuck, Rasmus Dahlin. If you don't watch Buffalo Sabres hockey, he's one of the best defensemen offensively in the National Hockey League and plays against the top pairing forwards in the league. So this is a very, very good hockey team. Now, playoffs are a different animal, different beast. We know that. You being in Edmonton and watching it ramps up a bit. But the way this team has played the last 2/3 of the year, they are a good hockey team and they can score. If they can get some goaltending, this team can be very dangerous. I still don't have them with Carolina and Tampa when they get into the playoffs. But if they get goaltending, hey, you never know.
Yeah, hey, you went around and you just get some excitement. You mentioned Thompson and Dahlin, and I look at their back end. I think that's the strength of their team. Samuelson's good. Byram is good. Now Owen Power, I think, is a little bit banged up, but I think he's going to be ready for the playoffs. When you look at Boston, who they give up a lot, Jeremy Swayman's been unreal for the Bruins, but the Bruins are very physical. Matt, and you played, and now you were a physical player, so maybe that first playoff experience was a little bit easier for you than it would be for lots of other guys because Buffalo doesn't have a ton. Like you got Alex Tuck, but they don't have a ton of guys with playoff experience. Ryan McLeod's been to a cup final, but how do you think they handle the increased physicality?
Yeah, and everyone always says, like, it's a new NHL. It's a new NHL. There's no hitting. Listen, when you get to playoffs, I was in Edmonton last year against the LA series, and it's a physical game in the playoffs. I don't care dynamic. Is there as much fighting as there was? No, but it's still a physical brand of hockey, and I watched that throughout the playoffs last year. I think they'll respond okay, but I also think that they're a puck possession team. They're not a small team. You talked about Samuelson, you talked about Power, Logan Stanley, Tuck, but Tage Thompson. These are big guys. All those guys that I just mentioned are over 6'4". Like they're a big team, but Boston is a physical team. The problem with Boston is they're really top end heavy, right? You have David Pastrnak, who had 100 points this year, and then Morgan Geekie was 32 points behind him. I think he had 68 points. So it's a big drop off once you get Pastrnak and you are done. So I think the Buffalo Sabres are the favorite, but like you said, the X factor in hockey, just like in football, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a team. If you don't have a goalie, you don't have a team. The Boston Bruins have Swayman, and he has been unbelievable this year. They are not in the playoffs without him. And a goaltender, I played with Dominic Hasek for 7 years. If he can steal you a series, Swayman can steal you a series.
Yeah, no, that's totally true. Matt Barnaby joins us, the Sabres and the Bruins. Hey, Tampa Bay looks good. Montreal's a team that's been very exciting. My one concern about the Habs, and maybe I'll be wrong, is they got a lot of smaller guys, man. And I just wonder about, the experience factor, sure, but then size does matter in the playoffs when everything's equal. If everybody's the same skill, and nowadays most of the teams are in there like Tampa and Montreal, they're obviously the same amount of skill. They got Vasilevsky, that's a big advantage. But how much do you think the Habs' lack of size could be their detriment in that series?
I think the lack of size, the lack of being there before Tampa's battle tested. We know that Vancouver's a coach. I love Marty St. Louis. Played with him, great coach, great person. But you got to go to the net. Dobson, can he when the lights are shining the brightest and Montreal's a tough place to play, can he fulfill that? Tampa Bay, we know they're going to be more physical. They're a bigger team. Montreal, they're top heavy too. They have that top line of Suzuki and Caulfield, who had 51 goals. And I don't care how small you are, if you can put the puck in the net, that's a benefit. And Slavkovsky's had a great year. So I just think Tampa's a deeper team. I think the line, if you look at the betting odds, I think they're like minus 240. I think that's a little high because I think they're a little closer in what the series could be. I think this could go 6 or 7 games. It could be a 7-game series. But evidently, I do think Tampa Bay does win. And we'll see if those little guys can rise to the occasion. But Montreal's been a story. They're a great team. They're a fun team. They're very similar to Buffalo. I would have loved to see a Buffalo-Montreal first-round matchup because they're very, very similar teams.
Yes. No, that's fair. What about Ottawa? We speak of goaltending, and I did a list today of teams and starting goalies, and you've got half the teams goalie will be making his first playoff start in the playoffs this year. Bussy, funny enough, in Carolina, Allmark has 15 games started, which puts him number 5 amongst the playoff goalies this year at 15. Ottawa's goaltending was letting them down all year long up until about the final 2 months. And then they, because all their other underlying numbers, like they were giving up 21 shots a game and not even many scans, couldn't do anything. And what do you make of the Allmark Busey matchup there in goal? Because the teams, Carolina and Ottawa, play a similar style. How much do you think goaltending, is that ultimately what it's going to come down to? And do you have faith in Allmark?
I don't have faith in Allmark, to be honest. I just think he's too up and down. There's great Allmark and there's bad Allmark, and you need consistency. I think when you look at goaltending, you hit the nail on the head when you look at these two teams, are very similar, fast-paced teams, good power plays, great forechecks. I think a guy like Jake Sanderson could be an X factor in this series. If he plays great and really dominates from the back end against the top line for Carolina, they could have success. But it's going to come down to goal. Everything comes down to goaltending and special teams. When you really peel the onion down and peel the layers off, that's what it's down to. But do I have like utmost confidence in Allmark? No, I don't. I have much more confidence in Carolina. I actually think this is going to be a close game series in the way that it's a 4-3, 3-2 games. I don't think there's going to be blowouts in the series, but I also think that Carolina will win in 5 games.
Oh, okay. Moving out west, Pittsburgh, another team you played for, and the Flyers. The Battle of Pennsylvania renews. You got Crosby and Malkin. Erik Karlsson's played very well, but the Flyers have really been good here in the last 25 games. They get Porter Martone comes out of college, and he's been unreal for them, point-a-game player. I know it's only 9 games, but that's a point-a-game player so far in his career. What do you make of this matchup between the Flyers and the Penguins?
Man, he's awesome. I love that kid. I watched him in college, and point-a-game player through this, like, to get in early, like, you try to fit in when you're a young kid coming in to put up those numbers that early is pretty impressive. Listen, Philadelphia wasn't expected to be there. I think all the pundits had them at like 78 or 82 points coming into the year. I love my boy Rick Tocchet, my closest friends. Love what he's done. I knew it would be a great hire. I love Danny Briere bringing in Zegras. He's been great for them. I don't think Philly's there yet. I think they're still a young team. To me, they're like the Anaheim in the Western Conference. They're going to get there. They're going to get knocked out. Pittsburgh's a more seasoned group. I'm not betting against Sidney Crosby, who's still at the top of his game. You talked about Karlsson. This is just a deeper team, and they've got goaltending now. It's crazy. You get a goaltender that comes in that couldn't get over the hump in Edmonton, and it's been very good there for him. But watching Pittsburgh play, watching Philadelphia play a lot, I love this rivalry. I played in the Battle of Pennsylvania. It's going to be very emotional. Physically, I think Philadelphia is going to have to try to outmuscle them. But when you look at the skill, you look at the depth, I think Pittsburgh is just a better team.
Quickly out in the West, I think there's some series maybe that are a little bit more, might be more done quicker. Colorado, LA. Obviously, I like the Avs a lot in that series.
Yeah.
Edmonton and Anaheim, I like the Oilers a lot, especially with Draisaitl. Look like if he's not starting game 1, could be in game 2. Dickinson might even get back in. Now, Vegas, Utah. I like Vegas. Where do you come out on that series?
Yeah, I'm going chalk on all of these. Listen, I think Edmonton rolls over. I think they're the better team, and they have the best player on the planet, and McDavid. We all know that. That's kind of redundant to say at this point. You look at the Avs; they're the best team in the NHL. They were the best team in the NHL last year, but again, there's X factors in every series, and you have to. Hockey is probably the closest that you can come to, the worst team in the league playing the best team in the league, or the 8th seed playing the 1 seed, whatever it may be, wild card 2 playing the top seed. So, you have to have all those things go right for you. But the Avs are the best team. They're the top scoring team in the league. They give us the least amount of goals. They're the best. And obviously, when you look at all these teams throughout the West, I think the West is just way tougher than the East. I think Carolina has an easier path than the Avs or the Edmonton Oilers or the Dallas Stars do. I just think the West is a beast. It's a much tougher way to get out of that, to get to the Stanley Cup final or find that route.
Before I let you go, Matty, of course, the Alzheimer's annual Pro-Am is in town next weekend, an opportunity for lots of teams. They raise a lot of money to help out the Alzheimer's research, which is fantastic. And I know you're a pretty good storyteller. What's the pitch to get Matt Barnaby drafted near the top? What's the benefit of having Barnaby on your team?
Well, the benefit is if you want to win or you want me to score goals, don't draft me. If you want to end up at Earls or Rock, what is it? Bottom Rocks or Rock Bottom or one of those
on the Rocks?
On the Rocks. Yeah, me and Mike Commodore probably would be there at some points. If you want to stay up late and have a really good time and have great stories, draft me. If you want to win, don't draft me. Draft Sam Gagne or one of those guys.
Now, now you've played in a lot of these over the years. Have you ever played with someone who took it too serious?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. I wouldn't say the pros, besides Rick Vive, he takes everything. He still thinks he's playing in the 80s Maple Leafs and shoots it like 100 times a game. I actually brought one of the baseball clickers, when you click like pitch counts.
Yeah.
I brought one of those because he shoots like, I don't think I've taken a shot. And I've played in probably 100 of these in 10 years. I don't think I've taken a shot in the last 10 years. He shoots 40 times a game thinking he's going to score 50 goals. Dude, we're retired. There's no scouts in the stands. We're old. We have gray hair, and we are bad hockey players now. But, yeah, there's some guys that take it a little too serious. But all in all, we raise a lot of money. And for all those donors out there and the people that raise money in Edmonton for Alzheimer's is very close to my heart. My grandmother passed away with Alzheimer's. It's a horrible, horrible disease. And my hockey coach from when I was 12 years old just passed away this year, a few weeks ago, from Alzheimer's. And anyone that's been affected by Alzheimer's understands raising money for this great cause is absolutely unbelievable. Edmonton, I just love going there, and the people there. I've met so many great friends from this tournament that have become lifelong friends. So it's a pretty awesome event.
Now, is it true that you took a trip to Turkey and just so you could bring some supplies back for Struddy for this year's tournament?
Yeah. Struddy, I'll bring him out there, and we'll get the little turban on him on the way back. Turkey is a crazy place, but yeah, we got some stuff for you. I love that guy. I couldn't even remember. I did an interview with him, and I couldn't remember that we fought. Of course, he beat me up. But
he brought up the one fight that he won. Is that what he said? Because he always tells us he didn't win many. So,
hey, he came and played on our team last year, and he was -2 in 3 shifts. So, hey, we don't want him back, but I'll have a beer with him. I love him.
I noticed this year he got promoted. He's not floating anymore. He's actually in the draft. He's back in the draft for like the first time in 8 years. So he won't be floating. He'll only be on one team this year, supposedly.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Hey. Evolution, my man.
Well, he feels he's ready now to go back. He's been working on his hands all winter, and feels that he's ready to go.
Well, what do you have, a chisel out?
Matt, great stuff, Matt. We'll see you in town next week at the Alzheimer.
All right, cheers, Greg.
There you go. That's Matthew Barnaby. I'm telling you, if you're playing in that and you want a guy, he's got some unbelievable story. Those times in Buffalo. You get to play on his team, just ask him about playing, like him and Rob Ray. Like they had a tough team. Bob Bugner, right? Brad May. Like the stories, I don't just ask them about the boxing gloves. Just if you get May and Brad May's actually in the tournament too. If you get either one of those guys on your team, make sure you ask them about the Buffalo boxing gloves. You will, that will be worth your draft pick, that in itself. Those stories are unbelievable. They're so funny. We will take a quick break. We'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Welcome to Silent Ice Center, the region's newest hockey and event center in Nisku. Featuring 2 NHL-size ice surfaces, premium seating, private suites, and an electric atmosphere. From elite hockey to major tournaments, concerts, and special events, this is where the action lives. And with Summit Restaurant overlooking the rink, every event is a full experience. Silent Ice Center, built for champions, built for the community. Book your ice, your event, or your next big night at Silent Ice Center. Email booking at silenticecenter.com. Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way, I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business, get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email, gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
This May, look for your census letter in the mail. The information you provide helps plan services in your community that support employment, transit, education, healthcare, and more. It's easy to fill out and completely confidential. Find out more at census.gc.ca. Your census, your community, our future. A message from the Government of Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
A lovely positive Friday. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the lovely province at playalberta.ca. And we continue on talking NHL playoffs as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. You thought the hype was over? Think again. After its viral debut back in 2023, the legendary Chicken Big Mac is officially making a comeback in Canada. Available right now, but only for a limited time. Try one today at McDonald's. And the first NHL playoff series, the puck will drop tomorrow at around 1:08 Edmonton time. It'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina, where the Hurricanes and the Senators will drop the puck in the 2026 playoffs. Corey Lavallet, beat reporter for the Hurricanes, writes at the North State Journal and at The Athletic, joins us now. And Corey, interesting series. I was listening to Rod Brindamore's conversation. He feels like Ottawa plays a very similar game to the Hurricanes. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I totally agree, Jason. I wrote my story today, and I said you don't even need words to describe this series. It's just like the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other series, because these two teams are so similar, in the way they play and the way they dominate possession. You look at just the baseline statistics, their top line centers are 80-point guys. They both got, Carolina's got 2 70-point guys. Ottawa's got one. There's a bunch of 50-point guys. The defense has about the same amount of points. The goaltending is questionable. The whole thing is, even the coaches, are two similar, old grizzled NHL veterans who have become coaches. So it's pretty interesting. Hey, we even got red and black. So it's top to bottom. They're pretty similar teams, I think.
They are. And I think it's similar teams in the sense that, at times there's been some question about goaltending, and, they've had stretches where the goaltending's been great. There's stretches where maybe not so much. We look at this goaltending matchup, and actually I just tweeted out the games played experience. Linus Ullmark started 15 playoff games. That's fifth most. Now, Anderson, of course, would have more, but I don't think he's going to start the series. What do you think is going to happen with the goaltending in the series from a Carolina perspective? Is it all going to depend on, if Bussy plays well, he stays in automatically? What do you think is going to happen?
I think actually Anderson's going to get the nod in game one. It looks like he's been in the starter's crease both days, so I think that's the way they're going. Rod hasn't officially tipped his cap yet, but he's, that's pretty good indicator about who's playing, is who's manning that starter's crease, and it's Ben Anderson. And he's played well down the stretch. I mean, I think, you look at his numbers, and obviously he wasn't great earlier in the year. I think the numbers maybe weren't so indicative of, the way he played. I wouldn't say he played well, but I wouldn't say he was atrocious by any means. And he's a veteran guy who's, despite what people in Toronto will tell you, he's got a pretty good track record in the playoffs. Linus Ullmark, on the other hand, not such a great track record in the playoffs. So I'll be interested to see how that hashes out. I think a lot of this series comes down to, which team gets good goaltending. I think the main advantage Ottawa would have is I think they have the guy who's capable of stealing a series a little more in Linus Ullmark. However, I think Carolina has way more options. If Linus Ullmark goes off the rails, James Reimer is the next man up, and I don't know that he can carry a team to a series win against a team like Carolina.
Oh no, I think it's totally fair. I think it's Ullmark or bust for the Senators. Now the Sens, it is interesting when you look at a lot of the underlying numbers for both of these teams. They're very good. The Senators basically got derailed by their goaltending for the first 50 games of the season. Then, it was like they kind of woke up and was like, okay, we're going to get decent goaltending. Now we're going to be a lot better, because they were a team that, they outshot their opposition a lot, similar to Carolina. They're two of the top 4 teams in the NHL when it comes to, outshooting their opponent at a rate of 57.6 for Carolina and 54.4 for Ottawa. With last change, how do you view Rod Brindamore running line matchups? Is it Stahl who's going to get, and I know it's never just one line against one, I understand that, but do you think it's going to be a lot of Stahl against Stützle, or it'll be Aho against Stützle?
I think they'll probably go Aho against Stützle. That's kind of the way they've leaned, is if you've got a faster, more dynamic center, then Aho usually takes that matchup on. And then Stahl will take on, the next man up. Like when they play Pittsburgh, it's Aho who goes head to head with Crosby, and it's Stahl who takes care of Malkin. And so I think that's the way they'll probably go. The difference in this year's team for Carolina is all of a sudden that Stahl line, which has been, a mix of a few different guys playing with Jordan Stahl and Jordan Martinook over the last couple of years. All of a sudden it's Nikolai Ehlers on that line, and now they have some offensive punch there too, something that, the other team can't just be resigned to the fact, well, Stahl's going to take away, that line from us. However, we're not going to have to worry about them scoring, and that's not the case right now.
Injuries, any significant ones at all for Carolina?
No, and I think that's a big factor in this. I talked to Jacob Slavin today and asked him, and he actually, said he feels a little fresh for the first time entering the playoffs because of the injuries he had this year. Obviously, he missed half the year, got back in time to get ready for the Olympics, was, fantastic in the Olympics, as he always is. And that's the other factor in this matchup thing, right, is that whoever they pair, whoever they set up Aho against, chances are it's going to be Slavin behind him with Jalen Chatfield. So even if maybe you're not getting as good of a checking center in Aho over Stahl, you've got Slavin backing him up. But overall, the Hurricanes are healthy. I think Jalen Chatfield's a little banged up. He has been all year, but nothing overly concerning. But those things can change quickly too.
You look at this Carolina team, and I saw articles saying now with Florida gone, this has got to be their year. And I don't know if it's that simple. It's like, obviously Florida's been a tough matchup for them, no question. But how do you view this? Like, Carolina's been that team, excellent in the regular season, and they've obviously had playoff success. They can win a round, win or two, but they can't do the Cup final because the Atlantic Division has basically had Florida and Tampa Bay for the last 6 seasons, and that's who's represented the East. Is Carolina built different? Are they built better this year to handle it, or do we not know until they get into that series? And maybe you hope that Tampa Bay is not there.
Yeah, I don't know that they're scared of facing anybody, really. I think, there's tough teams, right? Montreal's a good team, Buffalo's a good team, Tampa's a good team, and Ottawa's a good team. I think those are your 5 teams that I think are the best teams in the East. And it's kind of unfortunate for Carolina that the way the seedings worked out, that they have to deal with Ottawa in the first round, and the second and third place teams in the Metro are probably the most favorable matchups. So it's kind of an interesting kind of dynamic there. But yeah, I think it's easy to say, like, you have to do it this year. It's not like the Hurricanes are on the edge of the razor here and have their guys aging out. Like, yes, Jordan Stahl is getting up there. He's still playing well at this point, but your key guys are all locked in and under contract. So I don't think you need to go like doomsday scenario. If things don't happen this year, we got to tear it down and start over, because, there's so many good young players on this team. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised at how good Logan Stankoven and how good Jackson Blake are, especially together playing with Taylor Hall. And those guys are, barely cracking the surface of what they're going to be.
Who's been, like, maybe who do you think has had the best season for the Hurricanes?
That's a tough one. You look at the wins and losses and you say, wow, Brandon Busty was great this year. It's a little bit of a struggle coming back. Nikolai Ehlers has been, especially, the last half of the season, has been spectacular. And, it's almost like Sebastian Aho and Seth Jarvis have been overlooked a little bit, and both of them are so very good. To me, I think it's still those 2 guys. They kind of, drive the engine, and Andrei Svechnikov's having his best NHL season too. And when you put those 3 guys together, if they can really get rolling, that's a tough line to stop. Aho, Jarvis, Svechnikov, you have a little bit of everything there. And, Svechnikov, I wonder about this series I asked Andre about this and he kind of shook me off, but, I think a lot of people have said Brady Tkachuk has been the better power forward out of that draft, even though he was drafted after Svechnikov. And I wonder if in the back of his mind, he's like, it's time for me to prove that, I'm the guy who's the best, forward out of that draft. I'm really curious to see, even though they won't necessarily be head to head and it doesn't come down just to those two guys, but I'll be curious to see how he handles that part of the series and how Tkachuk handles that part of the series.
How's Kotkaniemi played?
He hasn't. So he's been a scratch mostly. I mean, right now he's the 13th or 14th forward. He played down the stretch because they rested guys, but that ship has kind of sailed. I mean, he's there if they need him, but Mark Jankowski's outplayed him. And, Jesperi just doesn't, I think it's a confidence thing. I think it's to me, it's almost can he realize he's not, he was third overall pick. Can he realize, hey, even though you were the third overall pick, that doesn't mean you're a top line player. You need to find your identity for who you actually are. And if he played a physical straight line kind of game and a decisive game, I think he'd be fine. But I think there's still that inkling in him of, hey, I was drafted third overall. I want to prove to everybody that, I'm still a goal scoring, point producing center. And I just don't know that he's that.
Yeah. Well, hey, Kotkaniemi, I always say I never understood that offer sheet. And then even when they doubled down the contract, and I love the passion of Hurricanes fans because I had a lot of them, you're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. And many years later, I'm like, I don't think so. And I look at Kotkaniemi and he's still got, I think, 4 more years left on that deal. Like, what do you think they do with him in the offseason? Like, it's hard to trade a guy, unless someone's just willing to give him another chance. Like, I don't know if they would buy him out. What do you think they do? Because that's $4.8 million of kind of dead cap space if he's not even in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll buy him out. I don't think that's really in Tom Dundon's playbook. I think they'll wait and see. There's such a need for centers around the league that you probably, kind of hope somebody gets desperate. We saw LA with Pierre-Luc Dubois having buyer's remorse and, dumping him off on Washington, and it worked out for Washington and it worked out for LA too. I mean, they got a good goalie out of it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if a change of scenery, a team that maybe is desperate for a center. You talked about, why did you make the offer sheet? Why did you give him the contract? I mean, this is a 6'3", 200-pound center who, can throw the body and be physical and has some skill. It's just he hasn't put it all together, and everything's there that you want to see, and it's just it hasn't really clicked for him. So I wonder if if there's going to be a team who looks at him and says, man, if we can fix him, we're going to have have a diamond in the rough here. And in this day and age, even if he becomes a third line center from somebody, $4.8 million is not that much. And the way Carolina's cap is set up, I mean, they've got everybody signed with the exception of Alexander Nikishin and Frederick Anderson and Mark Jankowski for next year, and still have oodles of cap space. So if they have to sit there and kind of eat the contract, they will. I don't think they want to have the guy sit in the press box. They don't want to take his career and kind of flush it down the toilet on him. But they need to find something that makes sense too. And they're not going to, I think, give draft capital to someone to take him or, give up assets to just for the sake of him having a chance somewhere else. So I'll be curious to see how that works out. The good news with him is that, he's a really popular guy in the locker room. He's really easygoing. He's not the kind of guy who sulks or pouts or anything like that. So it hasn't dragged the team down or anything. This isn't a situation like, when Dougie Hamilton's name was coming around in New Jersey, you heard all the rumbles and everything, and it seemed like it might have derailed that team a little bit.
Well, Corey, we look forward to it. Can't wait. NHL playoffs get going. Hurricanes and Senators fans get to start it off first in less than 24 hours. So we can't wait. Appreciate your time and enjoy it. What's the prediction in the series?
I think Carolina in 6. I'm gonna ask a prediction from you. Who scores the first goal of the playoffs this year?
Ooh, I will go with Svechnikov.
All right, I'm gonna say Seth Jarvis.
Seth Jarvis, not bad.
I'll shoot you a message if you're right, and you shoot me one if I'm
all right. Okay, buddy. We'll see. There we go. Awesome. Have a good one, Corey. That is Corey Lavallet joining us from Carol. It is interesting, the Hurricanes and the Senators. That's like there is definitely concern. Like if one goalie, here's the, well, it's good to have two goalies. Well, that's great, but it means that one's faltered to use the second one at times, right? And that could be good or bad. Obviously, Edmonton's done it. Vegas won a cup by having multiple goalies. So did Colorado, even when they won the cup. So it can happen. Right now, Colorado's goalies maybe a little bit different. They didn't have to steal anything for you, but I look at Carolina and really for Ottawa. If Ullmark plays well, I really think Ottawa can win. But it's a big if. Like I don't know if you can trust him. He wasn't very good in the postseason last year. Now, it's a new year. Lots of guys have, it's funny talking to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins today. He was asked about, his first tour of the playoffs the first time around, right? And it wasn't great for him and Jordan Eberle. Remember, and Eberle, the organization overreacted, and Jordan Eberle got traded because of 13 games in the playoffs first time ever. Like, so stupid when you look back on it. But nonetheless, a guy like Linus Ullmark, every year is a new opportunity to show, hey, I can be better. And if he plays like he has in the last 2 months, then Ottawa's got a real chance. This is going to be a good matchup. I think there's going to be, I don't know how many high danger scoring chances there's going to be here, but I think it's going to be both of these teams like to push the pace. And that to me is what's going to be entertaining to watch in that series. So what's great about the playoffs is if you could watch a game and, if you have two TVs in your house, some of you do. Let's say you've recorded a game of an Order game from a week ago, put that game on and then have the live playoff game and just watch the difference in pace. Like, it is wild, the difference any playoff game is now when we get from the playoffs to the regular season. And that's partially that's why the first round is so entertaining for people, because it's just like, oh my God, look at this. And it's smashing and banging and it's speed and everything. And it's awesome. And it does continue throughout the playoffs, but there's not as many games. That's why people think, it's the first round is always the most exciting. I think we've had some unreal, exciting games after the first round, but the first round, there's more of it. It's also the first time that you've in a year really seen that heightened intensity across the board every game, and it's fun. It's enjoyable to watch. Take a quick break. We'll return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We got some stats of the day for you. Craig Button, Spec, LT, and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lotteries, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play.
Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup. And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Wilhockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a deal from Legacy. Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Area Adjusted and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save on Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save on Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved industrial auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. featuring Japa equipment rentals, realignment with 5 2022 to 2020 XCMG 250U, 300U, 360U, and 490U excavators. Search Japa at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. For a limited time, get your favorite large specialty pizza from Papa John's for only $19.99. Use code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
3:50, a lot of texts flying in. Friday afternoon, Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Live on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Playoffs are right around the corner, baby. Cannot wait. Should be great. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Hey, Greg's, do you know who's broadcasting the Oiler games? Yes, it's Jack Michaels and Louis DeBrusque. Scott Oak is on that one. Gene kind of hinted that when we had Gene on earlier this week. Cuthbert and Simpson Bukakis will do the Canadians Lightning series. And John Bartlett, I think, is doing the Senators series. And Harnahan is doing the Utah Mammoth series with John Garrett. I think it's Utah and Vegas. That's the other one that CBC has. Now, they pick up some other games that they play, but those are mainly the ones that they'll be doing on CBC/Sportsnet, should I say. But yes, Oiler fans, you will have Jack and Louis and Scott Oak on the broadcasts. And kind of like that would go basically, well, it depends. If Montreal or Ottawa stay in it, then those other two guys would likely do the East games, which is usually how it works in Cuthbert and Simpson. And then if you get to just one Canadian team, then it's usually their number one crew takes the remaining Canadian team, which could be Edmonton. We'll see. Maybe it's Montreal. It'd be great if there was two Canadian teams in the final. I'll tell you that. It's unlikely, just based on the odds, but you never know. Hey, Gregor, what time's the actual puck drop? 8:20, most likely for games 1 and 2. And then 7:50 for game 4 on the Sunday night, because the Oilers are going to play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday next week if those games are necessary. So, hey, Gregor, there's lots of fans humming and hawing about our chances. It's the playoffs. Season's behind us now. We get on the heater, and there's no reason we can't get back to the conference final. Have a great afternoon from Jeff. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all. So, there we go. Hey, Gregor, what's the argument for Renski? All the numbers I've seen are down the stretch. What have you done for me lately? Numbers are underwhelming. Well, anybody who votes on, what have you done in the last 10 games? Like they mean more than the first 10 games. I wouldn't put much stock in their vote. It's based on the full season. It's that simple. It's based on the full season. Right? All I would say is to try to prop up the player you want to vote for by demeaning others doesn't work. Mention the stuff you like about the guy you want to win and focus on that. That's what I would. Because the minute you have to say, but this guy sucks here. It's not how it works. You're not. Tell me why your guy's good. Don't tell me why the other guy's bad. Tell me why you're good. Right? Like, think about it. You went on a date with someone. Would you sit there and just badmouth all? Oh yeah, this guy's fat. This guy's got no hair. Oh, yeah. But then you should be like, wow, you're pretty insecure. Right? That's the way I look at it. So Werenski's had himself a hell of a season. The last 10 games are part of the 82 games. Some guys had a bad 10 games. Some guys had a bad middle 10 games. Some guys had a, down front 10. Doesn't matter. That's why, as a voter, I wait until all 82 games are played because that's what you're voting on. Right now, I'll compile and I try to compile the numbers I really want to look at in certain ones. Now, there's ones that are easier. Like, I'll be honest. This might be my easiest vote ever for the Calder. That was a pretty easy vote. So, but the Hart, the Norris, the Selke, Lady Bing's always a challenge. I try to ask players, and I get to a short list maybe, and then I ask players, hey, what about this guy? And I've said this as somebody who votes in the Lady Bing, that should probably be input. I would have officials. Officials will know who the guy, because some guy might not take penalties, but might be a complete douche on the ice. You don't know. So, but you ask players, and a lot of the guys that are very low penalty minute guys, I've yet to hear one that said, oh, yeah, this guy was a real POS. I haven't really heard that. So Lady Bing's always challenging. I have a different viewpoint than others. Like, for years, a defenseman never won that award. I didn't understand. Like, how Nick Lidstrom in his career never won the Lady Bing, I'll never understand. I wasn't voting back then. I never understood it. Like, what else could you want from a gentleman player, respect the game, everything? Look at how many minutes he played. Look at how few infractions he took. You never saw him mouthing off. You never saw him cheap shotting guys. Like, how could he not win? Because it was like, for years, people just determined that it couldn't be a defenseman. Kind of a weird thing. So, like, when you think about it, who should take more minor penalties? Probably defend, because you're defending, right? People are coming at you all the time, right? Rarely do you have defensive holding in football because you're attacking. Right, except the in the DBs, but on the D line, right? How often do you have D line holding? Sure, it happens every now and then, not very often, right? Because you're attacking. So, right, defensemen should, in theory, take more penalty minutes, just because. So, like, I remember Oster Klefbom the one year. I put him first on my ballot, and people were like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, let's go through it and break it down." Guy doesn't take stupid penalties. Guy barely takes any penalties. He was playing 24 minutes a night. He's playing against the toughest competition all the time, right? And he's a skilled player. So he's in the game. He hits people, right? He had hits, just was clean in how he delivered his hits. I'm like, how could he not be a prime candidate for the Lady Bing? But if they ever change it and I didn't vote in the Lady Bing, I wouldn't be upset. I'll tell you that right now. I wouldn't be at all. So, hey, Greg, is the Calder going to be unanimous? Probably. But again, like, people focus on unanimous. Why? It doesn't matter. Connor McDavid won the Hart in 2021 and 2023. Does one carry more weight than the other? One year he got 100 out of 100 votes. The other year he got 195 out of 196. I would say 95% of sports fans don't know that one year he got all the votes and one year he got all but one vote. Because they don't care. It really doesn't matter. Unanimous or not. I think that's the easiest one to have a winner in, for sure. I can tell you the Norris, and I had a hard time getting down to 5, which 5 I would put on the ballot. Because the difference between 5 and 6, or even 4 and 6, isn't very much. Right? The difference between 1 and 2 on the Norris, oh my God, it's going to come down to, at the end of the day, what I view might be different than what another voter view. It doesn't make them wrong. It just is how we value something different. Just how it's going to be when it gets that close. And same for the Hart. I think the Hart, I'd be very confident that I could pick the 3 finalists for the Hart. I am not confident I could pick the 3 finalists for the Norris, because I think there's lots of different guys that are going to get different votes. I wouldn't be surprised if the winner of the Norris might not even have the most first place votes. Might end up having more second and third place votes, which has happened in the past, just so you know. Right? That's happened before in other awards. So I'll be fascinated to see who wins those 2 awards for certain. Same with the Coach of the Year, which we don't vote on. The Vezina Trophy for best goaltender. And that's why, if you look at the whole season, if you would have done this at 60 games, Sorokin would have won going away. But that's why you don't vote on it at 60 games. You vote on it on the full 82. And after 82, you're probably not the favorite anymore. Probably Vasilevsky or Logan Thompson, Jeremy Swayman, Sorokin. Those are the 4 guys, but Sorokin's not a lock like he was early on. So, hey, Gregor, why so many new voters, 100 to 195? Well, Todd, it was because in the 21 season, that was the COVID year, and they elected to shrink it down. I'm not really sure why or what was the reasoning behind going to 95 to 100. Probably because you had everybody only played in their division, so it was that one's a little bit tougher, right? You got to play basically 7 teams. That's all you did. So that's why they changed the 1 year. It's been 195 for a long, long time, give or take. There's actually, I think there might be 196. There's always, every year, there's 1 or 2 people who lose their voting rights because they don't get their ballot in time. Like, it's stunning to me, but that happens every year. So you might see there might be 198 eligible voters, but then somebody doesn't get their vote in time and they make a mistake, and then that ballot becomes null and void, and away you go. Hey, Greg, are all games on Sportsnet, even USA games? In the Edmonton market, the ones you get, yes. They have the national rights for the game. CBC and Sportsnet. Now, some, it depends what channels you have. You could, if you can get satellite and get other ones, well, then you can get the TNT feeds or other channels. But if you're just talking kind of on the basic cable channels in Canada, yes, those are the ones. We'll come back. Craig Button, stat of the day. We got 5 questions and more as we get to Connor Halley, who grew another beard as we spoke from the start of the show. That guy can grow up facial hair. He'd be perfect on a playoff team. He would have a good beard. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. They meet all your car needs with their digital vehicle report. They don't just tell you what your car needs. They'll show you. Book your appointment today, fountaintire.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
Off day in the NHL before the playoffs get going tomorrow. The Oilers have recalled goaltender Calvin Pickard from the Condors on an emergency basis. Meanwhile, Vancouver Canucks firing general manager Patrick Allvin, where he took a position in 2022. Major League Baseball, the Jays in action down in the desert, taking on the Diamondbacks. First pitch, 7:40. Braden Fisher, who now will get the start for the Jays, his first of the season, second of his career. Earlier today, Cubs got past the Mets by a score of 12-4. In the association, the play-in games continue. Magic and Hornets at 5:30, and at 8 o'clock, Steph Curry and the Warriors head to the desert to take on the Suns. In the AJ League final tonight, Game 1, Whiteport and Canmore. Puck drop at 7 in the BCHL second round action. Sherwood Park in Brooks taking on the Bandits at 7. And then at 5 o'clock in the PWHL, you got Boston taking on Montreal. From the NFL, the Houston Texans and all-pro defensive end Will Anderson agreeing to terms on a 3-year contract extension worth $150 million, 134 of which is guaranteed. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions, get to the stats of the day, and be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
As we all try to figure out when winter will actually stop and spring will finally be here for the season, GS Construction moves ahead with their plans for the year. From planning and digging to laying out underground infrastructure, construction season is limited, so we make every day count. And that's why GS Construction counts on our team to get the job done right. Crews are getting back in action across the city, and we'd like you to join us. We're looking for experienced top men, pipe layers, operators, and surveyors. For more, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
It's playoff time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker. Join us for the Titan Supply pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Center. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Center has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug in to your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Hi everyone, Sarah
and Neil
from Arcan RV.
We are back and we're celebrating spring with Arcan Days.
Well, we were always here. We've been around for 49 years.
That's true. We're kicking off another amazing RV season with some huge deals, showcasing our new brand, Cougar, Raptor toy haulers, and Coleman trailers starting at just $17,999.
Plus, special finance rates on remaining 2025 models with an extra $2,500 trade-in credit. Check out arcanrv.com for details. Connecting you to RVing since 1977.
Professional golf is coming to Blackhawk Golf Club this fall. The ATB Classic, presented by Building Trades of Alberta, brings the stars of PGA Tour Americas to you. Enjoy the ATB Fan Zone, presented by Michelob Ultra, where golf meets festival vibes. Upgrade to VIP-covered terrace seating with premium food and beverage options. September 17th to 20th. Tickets start at just $25, and the first 250 buyers receive a PGA Tour Americas commemorative gift. Get yours at atbclassic.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips, we fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock on a positive Friday. How are you? Playoffs are around, baby. How could you not be in a good mood? You kidding me? NBA, NHL. Oh, God. The coach is just calling. I can't wait. So many games to watch all weekend long in hockey and basketball, and you mix in a little Blue Jays. Although really right now, like, oh, my God, like the Jays, it's stunning how bad they are at the plate right now. Like, it's stunning. And oh, by the way, Brennan Little has had 4 shutout appearances in AAA since going down, trying to find his mojo again. So, which is kind of how it works for relief pitchers. I know AAA is not MLB, but you got to be able to back up somewhere. But maybe they should send some of their batters down, just rotate them, get them down, so they can hit the ball and feel better about themselves. Because they can hit the ball for one game, and then they can't hit it all. And that's basically how it's been for the Blue Jays. Like, it is, it's been a wild start for them so far this season. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. where tonight, Lotto Max, $30 million. 29, I was going to say, but no, $30 million up for grabs at playalberta.ca. So now let's get to our stats of the day, brought to you by All-Star Construction, founded in 2009. Sergey started it, and here we are, 17 years later, rocking and rolling. They become the largest contractor in their space for land development, power, and gas installation. They shape and build Edmonton communities. That is All-Star Construction. And the stats that matter. It's a position that everybody talks about a lot. So you look at the goalie positions, and if you missed it earlier, we're going to run down who we're looking at to be the starting goalies, at least for game one for teams and their playoff experience. So first series, Carolina versus Ottawa. Anderson, 85 starts. Allmark, 15 career starts. Tampa Bay, Montreal. Vasilevsky, 115 career starts. Dobish, 2. Boston and Buffalo. Jeremy Swayman, 18 career starts. UPL, Luukkonen, 0. He'll make his NHL playoff debut this weekend. Pittsburgh and Philly. If it's Skinner, it's 50. If it's Sheila, because they haven't announced it yet, it's 10. So either way, they got 50 or 10. And Dan Vladar, he will make his first NHL start. Come out west. Colorado against LA. Forsberg, none. Blackwood, 7. But if it's Wedgwood first NHL playoff start versus Forsberg, first playoff start. Oilers, Ingram has 3. Dostal, 0. Vegas, Carter Hart has 14 playoff starts. Vejmelka, 0. Dallas, Ottinger, 63. Wallstead, it's announced he will start, 0. So Wallstead, Vladar, Vejmelka, Luukkonen, Forsberg, Dostal, all will make their playoff debut this weekend or Monday night for Dostal against the Edmonton Oilers. So not a ton of playoff experience. There's 4 goalies with more than 20 games played. Vasilevsky, Anderson, Ottinger, and Skinner. Is it going to matter? We'll see. But it's an interesting stat for me to consider for those teams. You look at the Minnesota Wild. Now, this is the stat. If you like, this is a great question of you want to be a playoff team, but at some point you want to win in the playoffs. Because the Minnesota Wild, they have no problem making the playoffs. They just can't win in the playoffs. So last year they lost in the first round of Vegas. 24, they didn't make it. 23, they lost in the first round of Dallas. 22, they lost in the first round to the Blues. 21, they lost in the first round of the Golden Knights. 20, they lost in the qualifying round, didn't even get in. 2019, didn't make it. 2018, lost in the first round to the Jets. 2017, lost in the first round of the Blues. 2016, lost in the first round of the Stars. They haven't won a round since 2015 when they beat the Blues in the first round, but then they got swept. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 consecutive playoff series losses for the Minnesota Wild. 9. That's a tough run for them. So you know what though? I'm picking Minnesota to win that series. Now, Quinn Hughes isn't skating again. So if Heiskanen's out and Hughes is out, kind of evens out. We do know that Rupe Hintz isn't playing. That's a big loss for them, for the Dallas Stars. So we'll see about Hughes. That obviously, I might change my pick, but we'll find out. At some point, you got to get a win, don't you? I know it's a lot of different players, but their core guys, Kaprizov, Eriksson Ek, Brodin, Spurgeon, lots of their top guys have been there the entire time. Obviously not goaltending because Gustafsson only has 2 starts and Wallstead has none. So they're hoping that maybe a change of pace in goal will get it done. Connor McDavid, last night it became official. He did it in style. He won his 6th Art Ross trophy for the league's leading scorer. He finished with 138 points, second most in his career, third highest points per game of his career, because, of course, in the 56-game shortened 2021 season, he had 105 points in 56 games, which would have put him at 153, which would have tied his career high. Not saying he would have kept that pace, but he was on a pretty damn good pace. But McDavid goes to 138. He was close. He got a 90 assists. Impressive. Now, he's had 100 before. So for him, it's like, yeah, but for most people, 90 assists is pretty good. You look, if McDavid just had his assists, he would have been 13th in the NHL in scoring, just on assists. So not bad. Evan Bouchard picked up 3 assists last night, finished with 95 points. So the Oilers had 3 of the top 11 point producers in the NHL. Leon Draisaitl, who missed 17 games, the last 14 of the season, he still finished 9th in scoring with 97 points. He probably would have been 4th at around 120 some had he not missed the last 14 games. If you just look at his point per game pace and what he was at, it's probably it's where he would have been. So pretty good season for him. But Bouchard becomes only the 10th NHL defenseman in history to get to 95 points, which is, I would say, damn impressive. Right? Damn impressive. This is a season that, you know what, people can try to pick holes in a season. I would look at it and say, man, that's impressive. There's not a lot of defensemen in the history of the National Hockey League who have scored 95 points in a year. Bobby Orr did it 6 times. Paul Coffey did it 6 times. Dennis Potvin and Ray Bourque did it twice. Al McInnes, Brian Leach, Erik Karlsson, Phil Housley, Roman Josi, and Evan Bouchard, 95 points or more, have done it once. So pretty good company for Evan Bouchard. Hard to do it again. As mentioned, there's only 4 defensemen who have done it twice. So that would be the next goal for him, is to get to 95 again in his career. And he ripped one off the goalpost last night. He set up. So I thought Savoy might have had his 4th goal of the game. Do you know the Oilers have never had a rookie defenseman, a rookie forward or player, score 4 goals in one game? Savoy had 3 in the first period last night, which he became the 12th Oiler rookie with a hat trick. Jari Kurri had 3. Glenn Anderson had 2 in the rookie seasons. Gord Shervin, Marty Jelena, Brent Grieve, Dave Oliver, Rem Murray, Fernando Pisani, Taylor Hall, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Nail Yakupov are the other Oiler rookies to have a hat trick. So pretty good company for young Matt Savoy, who finishes the season with 18 goals. The Oilers tie Carolina for the most 18 goal scorers in the NHL. The Oilers had 6 20-goal scorers. Carolina had 7. Podkolzin got to 19 goals. Matt Savoy, pretty strong finish to the season, gets to 18. And he is going to start the playoffs on the Oilers' top line with Zach Hyman and Connor McDavid. Leon Draisaitl, stats, Oilers fans. When you get to playoff scoring, I just want to get to the active players when it comes to playoff scoring all time. And that includes, of course, Sidney Crosby, who is going to, with his next point, he will move into 5th, sole possession of 5th place. He has 201 playoff points. He's currently tied with the Armor Jagger. The top 4 all-time are Gretzky, Messier, Curry, and Anderson. But active players, 201 points for Crosby in 180 games. Evgeny Malkin has 180 points in 177 games. Nikita Kucherov, 171 points in 152 games. Brad Marchand, 158 points in 180 games. Connor McDavid, 150 points in 96 career playoff games. He has the 3rd highest points per game in playoff history of anybody who's played at least 15 games. Then you have Corey Perry, 141 points. Leon Draisaitl, 141 points. The difference is Corey Perry's played 237 games. Draisaitl has played 96. Draisaitl has never missed a playoff game. So keep that in mind. In his career, him and McDavid, both 96 games played. And they have 141 for Draisaitl, 150 for McDavid. Nathan McKinnon has 125 points in his 95 career playoff games. So not bad. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, in case you're wondering, for the Edmonton Oilers, has 81 points, as does Evan Bouchard. Bouchard has 81 points in 75 playoff games. Nugent-Hopkins has 81 in 96 playoff games. Nugent-Hopkins, Draisaitl, and McDavid, of course, in this era of Oilers hockey, have played every playoff game dating back to 2017. Darnell Nurse has missed 2, one due to suspension, one due to injury. And then Bouchard, of course, wasn't here in 2017 and in 2020 when the bubble, when the Oilers wasn't there either. So, and he was there in 21, but did he get into any of the games? I have to go back and look at that one. I don't think he played against the Winnipeg Jets in 2021. I have to double check. He did not. So there you go. As this will be his 5th playoff year. Bouchard, not many defensemen who have played 50-plus games all time in NHL history are averaging over a point per game as he is as a D-man. So it's pretty impressive stuff for young Evan Bouchard, who is, you look at him all-time, Bouchard, all-time playoff leaders in points. He already ranks 25th all-time amongst defensemen in scoring. Charlie Huddy and Cale Makar are each 4 points up on Bouchard. So Makar's got 85 points in 79 games. Bouchard has 81 in 75 games. They have identical 1.08 points per game in their career. The only defenseman, Bobby Orr, with more at 1.24. Paul Coffey, of course, played a lot of games. Like the more games you play, your points per game is going to go down. But Coffey's at 101. Brian Leach is at 102, but he played 95. He played 100 fewer games than Coffey. So those are the guys who are averaging over a point a game in their career. Or Bouchard, Makar, Leach, and Coffey. Pretty good category, I would say, for those two. I will say this. If there is one cons I'm going to give you, and Declan, you both can add. So look at all the teams that are in and all of the realistic potential matchups that you could have. Give me one matchup you would like to see in this year's NHL playoffs at any point, at any time. What's the one? Might be a first round now, might be one that's a second round potential matchup. Of course, third round or the Stanley Cup final. Is there one matchup you'd say, that's the one I want? What is it?
Yeah, I don't have to go too far. Colorado, Dallas. I think that's one I would like to see. Second round action. I wish the Panthers were in the playoffs. I could get Lightning Panthers. That's obviously not an option. So for me, that would be the one.
Deck, what about you?
Little behind the 8 ball on this one. I want to see a Canadian Sens Eastern Conference final.
Ooh, okay. All right. To me, the one series I'd like to see is Colorado Edmonton. I want to see Makar Bouchard in a series. I want to see McDavid and McKinnon in a series. Obviously, you throw in Leon Draisaitl. That's a series I'd like to see, man. There's there's lots of skill in that one. So give me Edmonton, Colorado. I'm wondering for our listeners, you get one series and you could pick it. What would be the matchup that you would like to see? 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We will take a quick break. We'll come back. Craig Button joins us on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell, and we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me, GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or business online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Carrion weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Measles outbreaks are occurring in Canada, including Alberta. These outbreaks are highly preventable. Measles is an extremely contagious disease that is spread easily through the air. The best way to protect yourself, your family, and your community is to ensure you are up to date with your immunizations. Don't get measles. Get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL, helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ul.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ul.ca, your partners in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
So Friday rolls through. Oh, Butts is rattled. He's having some real technical difficulties. He's not going to be able to join us today. His phone is on the fritz. He's having some trouble. So he will join us next week twice, he said. So maybe we'll get him on Monday, Friday. We shall see. But that's okay, because we can always pivot on the go. And we're going to hear from Coach Sean. But because Order fans, I want you to listen closely. Listen closely, because many of you, it's Positive Friday. You might be thinking, how positive is it? Well, I'll tell you. As we get to the oil report, brought to you by Go Auto, and you're like, man, I'm going to be so busy with playoffs. Well, maybe this is the weekend to go car shopping. Check it out online, goauto.ca, and find a location near you. Got that 73. There's going to be one right around you to get the vehicle you want, the color you want, the brand you want. They got 15,000 to choose from, so they'll have one you need at goauto.ca. So the Edmonton Oilers practice today. Tomorrow is a day off. They will practice again Sunday and then play Monday against the Anaheim Ducks. Who's going to be in the lineup? Because today at practice, the Oilers' lines were as follows. McDavid with Hyman and Nugent Hopkins. Kapanen and Podkolzin were centered by Leon Draisaitl. Nugent Hopkins was with Roslovic and Henrique. And then Szymanski was with Doc, and Frederick Curtis Lazar was the extra forward. D pairs were the same, of course. Bouchard, Ekholm, Nurse, and Murphy. Wallman and Emberson, and of course, now they did have an extra goalie at practice. Calvin Pickard is the third goalie emergency. Lots of teams will bring up a third goalie for the postseason. You know, a guy gets hurt in the morning, whatever. They want to have three goalies, so he is here. No, and we got a lot of texts. No, Ingram's going to start. No, I don't expect Calvin Pickard to be the backup. It'll be Tristan Jarry. Pickard's here. Locker room guy, Greg, gets along with everybody, but this is Connor Ingram's job, I think, for the foreseeable future. And then Tristan Jarry would be the first guy to get an opportunity after that. But what about Leon Draisaitl? So if Leon Draisaitl wasn't playing Monday, what would be the logic to running him on a line like he did today?
We're getting him game ready as much as possible. And to do that, putting him with players that he would most likely play with. Before, we had extra guys. Now we're pretty much down to our 13 forwards. We don't have a whole lot of extra guys, but it's about getting him playing with guys he's usually playing with. He was playing a lot with Pods and Caps this year and certainly last year. And sometime during the playoffs, most likely that'll be a line at some point. So that's my reasoning for putting him in the line. So he might be ready for game 1. He might be ready for game 3. He might be 5, but sometime we're expecting.
I think it'll be sooner than game 5. I don't know if I can go in all yet on game 1, but I'll say if Draisaitl is there again on Sunday, it's a pretty good opportunity. Also, on Sunday, guess who you will see on the, well, you probably, because he won't be there at practice, but Mr. Dickinson skated today on his own. He'll skate again tomorrow. He's going to practice with his teammates on Sunday. Now, will that be enough? Will he be ready for Monday? No, but the fact that he's skating on a, because this was an injury, took a shot off the ankle block. It's a pain threshold thing. There's comfort. There's obviously going to be some mobility, flexion questions for the ankle, but he is highly motivated. I've been told by multiple people to get in the playoffs. So you could see Dickinson. Now, what would that mean for lines? Would Dickinson just go in? And, a lot of people are saying Adam Henrique comes out. Possible. I don't know yet for game 1 that Josh Szymanski would get the nod over Adam Henrique. It's his former team. He's a veteran guy. He's a better face-off guy, kills penalties, all that stuff. So I don't know if he would get bumped for that, but I don't think Szymanski would sit out for a long stretch. So we'll see what happens. Now, once the playoffs start, remember, Connor Brown, remember the one year Connor Brown didn't play in the first round? Then Connor Brown came in and was against Vancouver, was lights out. Kasperi Kapanen was the same thing last year. So it doesn't really matter who's going to start game 1 because they're going to need other guys. Somebody's going to get nicked up. Somebody's going to get in a funk. They're going to bring in Szymanski. They might bring in Lazar. Who knows? Max Jones, we know they had announced 3 to 4 weeks, so he's definitely out for the whole first round. But he's probably a possibility some way in the second round if they make it. And away they go. What does Knobloch, when he watches Draisaitl, what does he see as far as how close he'll be availability-wise?
The first time he hit the ice when we were taking our pictures, our team photo 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, he looked ready to me. He just looks effortless on the ice. Obviously, that doesn't say the whole story about what's underneath, but I don't know. It's that's up to the doctors to say that he's ready to play. He's not at risk of damaging something. So, yeah, we'll wait for that.
It's playoff time. You're never going to get a straight answer until maybe not even at the morning skate. But I just watch, and I was looking at he was taking every drill, man. He was doing everything. He's in the battle drills, all that stuff. So if he's not playing game one, he's damn close. That's what I'll say. What about the Henrique, Nuge, Roslovic line, and what potentially could lead that line to be playing well?
Well, I think it's about keeping some pairs together. Obviously, keeping the McDavid line together, and Potcoles and Kappa, and have played a lot together. And whoever, if it is Leon there, we still have Dickinson to think about inserting him into the lineup. I think about pairs, and Nuge and Roslovic have been playing a lot together these last few weeks. So that was two guys to keep together. And obviously the Doc's line, Szymanski and Frederick, have been playing well together. So we've got a lot of balls up in the air. We don't know if Dickinson's going to be ready for game one. We don't know if Leon's ready for game one. So there's going to be, what you saw today is most likely not going to be what's going to be from game one, because we do have some question marks.
So what you saw today most likely won't be there for game one. Most likely, Connor, but you're telling me there's a chance. So we'll see. It is trending in the right direction, though, for Draisaitl. I think that's obvious. And Dickinson getting on the ice, that's just trending in the right direction. Edmonton has played well here without Draisaitl. Obviously, you'd rather have him. But I'll say that you'd rather have Leon Draisaitl in round 3 and 4 than rush him in round 1 to get re-aggravated, right? That's how you have to look at it. You have to think big picture. You can't be narrow-minded and be like, we got to get him back, we got to get him back, we got to get him back. You can't do it. You have to have confidence. You could say, you know what? The way we played, we could win a game or two without Leon Draisaitl. It could. Has to be. What about with Dickinson? Is it pain tolerance, doctors? What's going to be the ultimate decision for him?
Yeah, it's doctors allowing him to play, and he's itching to get out there, and he wants to be part of this. He was on the ice today on his own. He did skate, and I got a report. I saw our training staff today. TD gave me a report how he's doing, and we expect him on the ice for practice on Sunday.
Good sign. Good sign moving forward for him. Nurse Murphy. They continue to play well. What is it that the coach has liked and why he feels it's worked?
Wallman and Murph together, and then we moved to Nurse and him. And I think that was 2 or 3 games in, and there was never any reason to take them apart. Darnell's game really elevated. Murph has fit in quite well. We knew he could defend. I've been very impressed with his puck skills. He's been able to make some really nice plays. He's not flashy, but just making those 5-10 foot passes, getting in the forward's hands under pressure. He really excels at that. But I think with those two together, they really take a lot of pride on playing good defensive hockey and playing it hard. So they've just, it looks like it's been really good chemistry.
I would agree so. What about, is there a characteristic that this team has that's maybe different than last year?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think last year there were certainly more question marks going into the playoffs. There was a lot of uncertainty knowing what our team was going to look like, especially with our lines. We had so many injuries. I believe Hyman was hurt, McDavid, Draisaitl, Wallman, Eki, just to name a few in those last 2 or 3 weeks of the season. And everyone was just recovering. Evander Kane, everyone was coming back like pretty much game 1 or sometime during that series. And it was Trent Frederick was another guy. Like, it was almost half the team. And we weren't really sure what our team was going to be like and what our chemistry was going to be. And this year, I think we have a lot more certainty of where guys fit and how we're going to play, especially the way we've been playing the last 3 or 4 weeks. We're adding some pretty good offensive players. You know, we saw Hyman just the other day, and eventually Leon. That, you know, we know what they're going to bring. So, so to answer your question, I'm not sure what's different about this team with the identity, but I have a lot more confidence in just where we are going into game one.
There you go. Coach has a lot of confidence. What say you, Oiler fans? It's Positive Friday. Give me your thoughts. What's your prediction on the series against the Ducks? 833-401-1440. You can just put game 4, 5, or 6 and who wins. 833-401-1440 will return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos.
For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. And yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lottery. Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a Sport Performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value for a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
It's happened again, and construction season is coming soon. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
Sherwood Honda is home of the GOAT. That's your greatest offer all time. And they have plenty of pre-owned GOATs that they got on a trade. Every used vehicle they sell goes through a 182-point inspection and comes with a vehicle history report. Because peace of mind is an essential part of getting your GOAT. And Sherwood Honda sure would want you to buy with complete confidence.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Courses of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care. Injuries don't wait, and neither should you. 01 Athletic Care offers one-stop access to doctors, x-rays, and casting. It's expert musculoskeletal care covered by Alberta Health right in West Edmonton Mall. Move from injury to recovery. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Or 47. Oh man, you know what? I'm not sure there's a better guy in the NHL than Brad Marchand at the, just getting a quote that, like, when he retires, he'll be somebody who can go viral lots just with this, because he got everybody all talking. He's like, hey, you know what? There's only one winner. Whether you make the playoffs or you miss the playoffs, if whatever, it's no different unless you win. Everybody else is a loser. So, hey, that's what you say when you're not in the playoffs and you've just won a Stanley Cup. So he's actually won 2 Stanley Cups in his career. So I get it. It is true, but as far as everybody else loser, but let's be real. You don't play 82 games and be like, oh, okay, we didn't make the playoffs, whatever. No, you want to be in the playoffs. It adds more fun to it because then you have a chance. At least you have a chance. Obviously, there'll be 8 teams that in, I guess, 10 to 14 days will be out of the playoffs. But when it started, they'll thought they had a chance. Let's get to the con man and a 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. Furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs. Right now, mattresses and all Canadian sofas on sale at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, you just asked the listeners to text their answers in. I'll ask you the same question. Oilers, Ducks, who wins how many games?
I'm going to say Oilers win, and I'm going to say 4 games. Actually, you know what? No, I guess I got to say 5 because Mackenzie asked me earlier, and I said 5 on video. So I just think this is a really good matchup for Edmonton. So I'll say 5.
Key is to give like 4 answers and then only refer to that one.
It's true.
I said Oilers in 6. I feel like it's kind of a cop-out answer. I feel like going with 6 is kind of lame, but I do think this Ducks team, I think they'll find a way to make it a little bit more interesting. That all hinders, I guess, opposing if Leon Draisaitl when he plays. But I'll say Oilers in 6. They get the job done. Give me an X factor on each team in this series.
So not an obvious player. I'm going to say X factor for the Oilers, Matt Savoy. And X factor for Anaheim, Jackson Lacomb's going to have a massive series if they're going to win.
Oh, I totally agree with you on that one. I will say for the Oilers, give me Jack Roslovic. I think if he shows up in the postseason, that goes a long way for this team. And
good one.
Bennett Seneca for the Ducks, not only because of what he does, obviously, he's a talented offensive player, but, I think he might be someone who the Edmonton Oilers fans start to dislike. We talked about with Duke earlier today. First in the league, he's already been fined for his theatrics a little bit and maybe selling a few things. So I think, if he can find a way to get into the series, he could be a bit of an
Who does he think he is? Brian Kessler? What's going on here?
2.0, perhaps. Question number 3 for you. Who do you think should be the next GM for the Vancouver Canucks? And who do you think, or what do you think should be their top priority?
Oh, man, their top priority has to be, regardless of who you bring as a GM, they need more stability from their ownership group. There's that organization, I'm telling you, Connor, is one of the worst organizations to deal with in the National Hockey League. It's ridiculous. So I would start there. Because ask anybody who runs their business. If your business isn't running smoothly, you can hire the best CFO, best CEO, and guess what? If the owner wants to run things a certain way and you kind of have to adhere and listen to what he does, and there's just constant chaos, it's not going to be successful. So that would be the first thing to start. And like, I think Vancouver needs to kind of reestablish their culture as an organization. And honestly, I would maybe look, I don't know, I'm questioning how much experience they have or how much willingness they want to do the job, because it's a hard job, but maybe you have co-GMs in the Sedins, because the one thing the Sedins will bring is an extremely high level of class to an organization right now that I don't think has enough.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing for me, I get a culture. Like they've got to get that back on track. The way we've seen their fall off when the Oilers beat them in 7 games, I thought this Canucks team is going to be someone you watch out for years, and it just went downhill immediately. Whether it was players arguing, your captain wants to be traded, the ownership, like you say, rocky. I think a safe pick might be someone like Doug Armstrong. You know, he's got the GM history. Would he want to take on this task? I don't know, but I think getting that culture back on track is priority number 1 for this team. And how you do that, we'll wait and see. Question number 4 for you. NBA playoffs going to get going tomorrow, officially. Playing games we know already underway. Which individual player or players are you most looking forward to watching in the postseason?
Go ahead.
I was talking with Declan. One guy for me, I think Cade Cunningham for the Detroit Pistons is someone to watch out for. We know he's a really good player. He's got playoff experience. Last year, though, they came in as a 6th seed and were bounced in the first round. This year, you're number 1 seed. You're going to get that 8 matchup. I'm really intrigued to see what he can do because, you know, I think that the East is open. Out West, there's the usual candidates for sure. But Cunningham is a guy I think I'm going to be tuning into.
All right. I would go... Well, I know it's a really boring answer, but I'm going... I want to watch Wembanyama on a regular basis. Because I don't get to see a tons of Spurs games, so that's who will be the guy I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a guy on every Western team almost where you're like almost must watch television.
Yes, 100%.
Question number 5. Today is National Ford Mustang Day, which I think for some would be a dream car. So my question for you, and you can give me a few if you'd like, what would you say is your dream car?
Go ahead.
I was hoping Wanye was going to be in for this one. I'm not a car person. I think I just want a vehicle that gets me from point A to point B. And so like the luxury cars really don't do it for me. I think they'd be nice to have, but I will say a couple years ago, had my little Ford Escape written off, and the car I was given was a truck, and it was awesome.
Okay.
I get the appeal of trucks, and I think my next vehicle, I got the Jeep right now, love it, but I think I want to get into a truck, and hopefully it's at a point where nobody really needs to move. I don't get called on for that point, but the truck was quite luxurious. So I'm not going to pick a brand because then I'll have people telling me how those suck. But just any nice big truck I think would be cool to have.
Okay. Now this is a dream car that I don't think I could ever convince myself to spend that much money on a vehicle, but even if I had that much to spend on a vehicle, but the 2026 Lamborghini Rivalto, if you've seen the green, like my son's really into cars, so he looks up stuff all the time. He's like, Dad, what do you think of this one? And when I saw the Lamborghini Rivalto, oh my God, the color, it was like a kind of a light shaded lime green, unreal. So that would be my car.
Is it $600,000?
Yeah, 6 and change, something like that. Yeah, as I said, it's a dream car for sure.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
Yeah, the McLaren Artura, which is kind of like the new version of the Spider.
Yeah,
and it was only $260K. That one looked pretty sleek too. The one they had, it came in. There was a purple one, or like if I'm getting a sports car like that, like I'm getting a bright color one. That's the one thing. Like I'm not going to black or white. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're nice. I mean, I probably should have looked at a few sports cars. Just taking a truck isn't really a great answer, but it's realistic for me. I don't think I could ever afford a $600,000 car. Must I hit the lotto?
Yeah. Hey, Greg's, by the way, I think you're right. You've mentioned it many times. Americans don't want to play in Canada. Rutherford's comments confirm this. He was talking about Quinn Hughes. Yeah, there's some, right? I don't think all. I think some at times. But when you don't win, that's a big part of it. The Vancouver Canucks, like Jim Rutherford's comments, and I want to, because I saw that Thomas Drance had put them out. I want to read it exactly, because to me, I have an analogy here that I was like, ooh, this isn't good. So where did it go? He had I'd known for some time that Hughes was not staying. I knew before the season, for that matter. It's one of the reasons we signed the Garlands, the Bessers, and the Demkos, hoping for a bit of a chance right to the end that he might decide to stay. And that comment right there illustrates the problem of the Canucks. So you had a guy that was saying, I don't want to be there. And then you tried to do everything to convince him. He didn't change his mind, but then you got locked into Demko's contract. You got locked into Besser's contract. Now, you were lucky to trade Garland and get out of his contract before it started. Is the Besser contract going to age well? The Demko, is Demko even going to, is he going to play half of the games in his contract? Probably not. So all you did now was you compounded your problems. Right? It's like when I look at, this was somebody who told you they want to break up with you. And then you went out there and said, oh, you know what? Well, I'm going to change my hair color. Right? So you go, or, you know what? Suddenly I'm going to go, I'm going to go buy a better house. And I'm going to take out a bigger mortgage because that's going to be better. And then at the end of the day, they still leave you. Now you're stuck with a house and a mortgage and you're brutal. That's what this was, Cons. This was someone saying, I want to break up with you and not accepting the breakup. Right?
It's like a Seinfeld bit.
Yes. Yes, this reads like a, you know what? This is, you knew they wanted to break up. You tried to save it. And guess what? All you did was make things worse. And now they still broke up with you. That kind of to me show. And hey, I get it. I get it that you don't want to accept that Quinn Hughes doesn't want to be there. But teams have traded away good players before and still survived. Teams have done it. Not always, of course. Because now you've compounded. Now what's going to happen with Demko? Now, salary cap's not an issue for Vancouver. But if you want to go and sign a big goalie, you don't really have cap space now to do it. Because you got Demko locked in at a really bad number. Not because of his play, because of his health. He can't play regularly. So, yokes. That's I appreciate the honesty, but it just illustrates to me the deeper rooted problem. Like, this is like the breakup was coming and you chose not to admit it. Ouch. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We do have a lot of texts coming in. Oilers in 5 right now seems to be the most common response from our listeners. There's a few Oilers in 4. I like, hey guys, Oilers in 5, maybe 6. No way it's 7. Well, basically you just answered every number. Oilers in 5, maybe 6, but no way it's 7. Are you sure? Which one? Guys, after Knobloch said it, I think I agree with them. I'm actually less concerned about the team going into the playoffs than I was last year. They played better defensively, I think, which is number one. There's less question marks on health. There's still some, of course, on Draisaitl. And Hyman's not, I don't think he's 100% healthy. It's hard to be 100% healthy at this time of the year. And that's the thing about the Oilers is I think Edmonton has, the one thing they learned last year was when they had a chance to put teams away, they did. They put away Dallas. They put away Vegas early. They beat both of them in 5. And that rest, well, I know they didn't get their ultimate goal, but having more rest is a huge benefit. This is not a series against Anaheim that you want to allow to extend. Even if you win it, just all that extra wear and tear. If you could win in 5, that just gives you more time to rest. And rest to me can be the difference maker a lot of times in the play. Doesn't guarantee you success. Just can make it a little bit easier for your team. Let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. You know what? They don't rest. They're always looking for good deals for you. Want to go a little car shopping before the madness of the playoffs begins? Stop in at the new Autoplex, NorthgateGM.com, and you won't be disappointed. You'll get a great deal.
The Sports 1440 update.
Off in the NHL as the Stanley Cup playoffs kick off tomorrow. Today, though, the Oilers recalling goaltender Calvin Pickard from the Condors on an emergency basis. Also, Vancouver Canucks moving on from GM Patrick Alvin. In the association, play-in action gets going in about 30 minutes. Magic and Hornets from Orlando. Then at 8 o'clock, you got the Warriors and the Suns. Major League Baseball, Jays kicking off a series with the Diamondbacks. First pitch, 7:40. We'll have that for you here on our AM feed. Elks Mariners taking on the Rangers. Athletics get the White Sox. Padres in Anaheim. Rockies taking on the Dodgers. Red Sox and Tigers. Brewers head to Miami. And the Yankees host the Royals. Right now, Braves lead the Phillies 2-0 in the bottom of the first. In the AJ League Final, Game 1, Whitecourt and Canmore. Puck drop at 7. Also at 7 in the BCHL, Sherwood Parks in Brooks taking on the Bandits. Game 1 of their second round series. And in the PWHL, Boston travels to Montreal. That one gets going shortly. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spectre of Rogers Sportsnet, Alan Mitchell from the Lowdown with Flowtide, and we'll hear the latest edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
At GS Construction, we're multitaskers. We've got lots of projects going on all around Edmonton and area. Different teams across the city working towards the same outcome. Installing today what will serve generations to come. It's a rewarding career and the work never stops. That's why GS Construction is always on the lookout for great people to join us. Right now, we're looking for experienced topmen, pipe layers, operators, and surveyors. So if you want to feel valued, empowered, and engaged in your work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Did you know the Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us, the Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Camping on a long weekend without a Toyota Tacoma can feel crowded. But when you get a Tacoma during Red Tag Days, you can take advantage of its powerful I-Force engine and rugged capability to find a better site. Take advantage of Red Tag Days on now. Lease a 2026 Tacoma 4x4 double cab SR5 from $110 weekly for 60 months at 5.49% APR with $6,899 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Friday afternoon. You made it through another week. Good for you. Hopefully you accomplished something new. Maybe you got someone's digits. You're on the text machine, chatting, talking, going on a big date this weekend. Everybody remembers, the excitement, what's happening. So good luck for all, because somebody out there, somebody's falling in love, somebody's falling out of love. It's just how it goes. So good job. Good job. Hope you have fun. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where I can guarantee you'll have a little bit of fun. Check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost specials that we give you every night. Little NBA action today. We'll have some, of course, lots coming up for the playoffs and more. So you can check that out on the weekends. And then, of course, Oilers and the Quackers. Third year in a row that Edmonton will open on a Monday night. The last 2 years, they made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. If you're superstitious, or maybe just a little stitious, you might like it. Also, get in into your PlayAlberta.ca for Lotto Max. $30 million tonight. PlayAlberta.ca. As we get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists who are hiring. If you are got experience as a top man, a pipe layer, operator, or just looking to start your career, go to gsconstruction.ca and look up careers. As Mark Spectre from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Just watching all the mayhem from around the league on dressing room cleanout day for pretty much half the league.
Oof.
Lots going on. Lots getting talked about.
Yeah, well, Collins, did you get the Hellebuyck comments? Here, I want you to listen. Did you
I'd like to hear them.
Yeah, so we'll get our audience because they're hearing for in the first. Connor Halley did not hold back in some of his comments about the Jets today.
I'll just say, Gregor, the question here was just about him evaluating his future, and this was the response.
That sort of thing. You had a 7-second pause.
I don't want to go and leave any speculation. I love this city and I love playing here, and the fans have given me so much, and I've given so much back to the fans, and there's a real connection there. I wish more people around the league would see that and could see that. Am I going to go and tell you that right now I feel amazing about winning a cup tomorrow? Like, no team out of playoffs is going to say that, and no player out of playoffs is going to say that. But you make your decisions and you live by them, and as time goes by, you try to reevaluate, and then honestly, that as an athlete, the only thing you can do is put your best foot forward. You make your decision and put your best foot forward, and that's where my head's at right now. Is I have a nice long summer ahead of me, and I'm going to get some recovery, some much needed recovery. I've played a lot in these recent months, and I'm going to really focus on my game and really break it down and see where I can improve some things. And being one of the best in the world is something I've always took a stride for, and I want this summer to take another big step forward for that.
He did go on to, he had some things to say about a GM, which is fair, right? And guess what? The players, I have no problem with the players saying, hey, man, because one of his lines was, from my perspective, complacency is not going to get us moving forward. Something has to happen. So I think he's basically, they need a second line center. They cannot compete now. The problem is it's hard to find one, but he's saying just because it's hard doesn't mean you can't go do it. So good teams find ways to do it, right? The reason Florida won the Stanley Cup was they went out and they acquired Matthew Tkachuk. They went out and acquired Sam Bennett for a song and a dance. They acquired Reinhart really for a song and a dance. Turned out to be great players. So get some good scouting, make your moves, go find the players, right? They're out there, and there's always a team that's willing to give up on a player. You just got to find who that team is. Just that simple.
Yeah, Cheveldayoff in Winnipeg's always been a pretty conservative manager, and the hand he's dealt is he's in a town that it's hard to get free agents to come to, right? They're just not coming to Winnipeg. And so what he's done a good job at is he's got some, he's got Hellebuyck, maybe the best goalie in the game, and he got him to stay and he signed him long-term. And that's good work by the GM. They signed Scheifele long-term. They've got Morrissey there. Like, he has kept his players by and large. Kyle Connor. So to me, that's a check mark. Like, if you can keep guys in Winnipeg, man, when they become free agents, that's better than Calgary could do, right? They all left there. So, but you got to get better. Obviously he doesn't have enough of a team here. He still has to get out and get more aggressive and make some moves. And that's never been Chevy's strength. Chevy's not a big go out and make a splash guy. It's not what he does. Maybe they need a new GM. Maybe he needs to change how he does things. But as well as they've got a nice core in Winnipeg, they don't have enough. There's not enough there. And I agree with the goaltender, right? It's got to get better than this.
Yeah, 100% it does. Edmonton Oilers did not waste time last night. Spec, they came out, their energy line got a big goal early. Josh Szymanski, 2 goals, neither one he shot in the net. So he's due to get a goal that goes in off his own stick at some point. But you know what? They get that, and then Matt Savoy takes over with a hat trick in the first period. Obviously, Connor McDavid had a little bit to do with that, but some nice moves on a few of those goals. But I thought the Oilers just dominated. They went into that game with the mindset that we're going to dominate, and they did.
Yeah, that's a good playoff team, a legitimate Stanley Cup contender, taking a game in their own hands and against a very poor, the 32nd place team in the league. You think that should always happen when they play. It doesn't. But in that situation where the 2 points were that vital for Edmonton, they did exactly what you need to do. They scored 4 first-period goals and never gave Vancouver even an inkling that there might be a game here for them, right? It was a long night for Vancouver. And as Matthias Ekholm said after the game, they kind of look like they're ready to start their break. And I don't blame them for that. It's been a long, crappy year in Vancouver. If I played for them, I'd be ready to start my break too.
Oh God. Yeah. How can you, how can you not? So, you look at it though, like Matt Savoy spec. Now, hey, it's the last game of the year. It's against the worst team in the NHL, but it's more about finding the openings, where to get open, his timing to get open. Now, he's a rookie in the playoffs, but I've said this all along from the time he came in, I said, could Matt Savoy be a Jake Gensel? Because now the Pittsburgh Penguins, when he came in, they had won the Stanley Cup the year before. They had a boatload of experience in the room. He came in as a rookie, and halfway through the year wasn't relied on to be a big guy, but he came
for sure.
Big player. And that's exactly where Matt Savoy is. Now, I know the Oilers didn't win the Cup, but they've been in the Cup 2 years in a row. They got a lot of experience around the room. Savoy just has to be a complimentary add-on player. But I look at Matt Savoy, and Connor asked this earlier, who's kind of a player who could be big that, you don't expect to be. And to me, it's Matt Savoy. I expect Draisaitl and Bouchard and Hyman and McDavid to be the key guys for the Oilers. But you're going to need, like last year was Sam Bennett for Florida. No one thought Sam Bennett was scoring 16 goals. He'll never score 16 goals in the playoffs again, ever. So that's what has to happen if you want to win. They're going to need somebody to have a really big, unexpected postseason. It might be Matt Savoy.
Well, he's become a top 6 player. Now, in my books, you got to do it for a little bit longer before I'm going to say, you're always your top 6 player. But he sure is playing like one, and so far so good. So basically, the Oilers have grown another top 6 player. Top 6 players generally come from either a very high draft pick or a free agent signing, right? They've turned Ryan McLeod, and I'm not disparaging Ryan McLeod. He's having a great year in Buffalo, and they needed a centerman that was older and experienced, and Edmonton needed a winger who was younger and cheaper. It was a great trade for both teams. But they turned Ryan McLeod, who's a third-line player here, into a first-line player in Matt Savoy right now. And yes, Connor McDavid's got a lot to do with that. Who cares? He needs trigger men, right? And at this rate, this kid's a rookie. Like, this is first year in the National Hockey League, man. And he's starting to look like a guy that might have the skill and the head, like Gensel figured out how to play with Crosby and was so effective. And it's not easy to do. This guy's figuring out how to play with McDavid. And man, you get all of a sudden you got a top line winger. Now you get to play Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on another line, which is going to make that line better. Maybe your third line, wherever you do. Like, this is not found money necessarily, but he's a lot better, a lot faster than I'll bet you anybody thought he'd be. Is that fair?
Well, his top 9 pick, he's always been quick. Yes. It's like anything. Like Matt Savoy's first half of the season was spent as a bottom 6 guy killing penalties, which is fine. He's a rookie. But his hockey acumen, I think, earned the trust, and more so his defensive awareness, I think, earned the trust of the coach, where they're like, hey, you know what? Because when you play with, I think what times people overlook is when you play with Connor McDavid, you have to be defensively awareness because he's not a Selke Trophy winner. He's okay defensively. He's not great. But so you can't have 3 terrible, defensive guys there and just go push. You have to have a guy who's good offensively, but also smart enough to know when to pass the puck, where to pass the puck, and where to be. And I think that's what Matt Savoy has shown.
And quick enough to keep up.
Yeah.
Right? Quick enough to do the jailbreak with Connor McDavid when it's time for one. So, and good enough hands to be able to convert, because if you play with Connor McDavid, you're going to get all kinds of chances around the net. That's why Zach Hyman works. His hands are good enough. He can score 50 goals. And this kid, like just watching him put home those one-timers last night. Yeah, they're one-timers to the side of the net, and lots of guys can do that. Okay. But he's got the quickness. He's got the hands. And now he's figuring out his timing. He's figuring out how to, the window of being open in the playoffs is short, right? You got to time your open window with when McDavid can get it to you. And if you time it all right, McDavid will get it to you. So this is good for the Oilers. This kid's, there's something here, man, for sure.
Yeah. Now playoffs are obviously extremely different than game 82 against Vancouver, but he'll go into the playoffs with a lot of confidence, which is a key to any player. How confident are you, Spec, after watching the last few days? Leon Draisaitl today in a normal jersey on a line with guys he's played with. Now, Knobloch's response did make a ton of sense. So we're trying to get him in, game situation, play with guys that he can't. And, he did say, what you saw today most likely won't be what you see in game 1. So not committing yet to Draisaitl. I think we'll probably have a better sense of what we see on Sunday in 2 days. But he's trending that if he misses game 1, which is fine, he won't be missing much of that first round. He's going to be
no. I mean, watching him the last few days, like I think I said this yesterday, the thing that trainers and probably your guy that comes on all the time, I hope he'd agree with me. It's how hard do you work in your rehab, and then how do you feel the next day? If you work and skate and have a really hard day, are you laid up the next day? Can your injury handle another hard day the next day? Well, we watched Leon Draisaitl go hard for like 3 days in a row, and he had so much jump today at practice. He looked like it was his first practice. Like he was having fun. He had a smile on his face. He was hopping around. He was skating like crazy. Like yesterday, he put in 90 minutes, and today he looks fresh as a daisy. So I'm not a doctor, but that tells me that his recovery is excellent from a really hard day yesterday to today. And that's one of the biggest signs of recovery for any athlete. I think Knobloch is blowing smoke. He's going to be on the same line with those guys, Kapanen and Podkolzin Sunday. And assuming that he has another practice and looks the way he looked today, I bet he's in the starting lineup Monday night.
Starting lineup. All right. So Lazar comes out now. Other good news on the injury front. Dickinson skated on his own today. He'll be skating with the team on Sunday. Now, I don't know, how close he is to playing. And Chris Knobloch has told me that he's like, hey, this guy is highly motivated. He wants to get in there, so he's going to do everything he can. Obviously, they always, as the trainers, you got to protect the player from himself sometimes because, of course, they want to play. But you're like, okay, can we wait an extra day? Let's make sure. Because, now his seems more like a pain threshold thing, whereas Draisaitl's is more of obviously a knee stability issue. And you know what? Is it beneficial to wait or not? We'll see. But they could get Dickinson and Draisaitl at some point in this first round series, which makes them even better.
Oh, I mean, what makes the Oilers now with the addition of Dickinson, one of the reasons, like a giant advantage, they look at them up the middle. They go McDavid, then Draisaitl, then Dickinson with Nugent Hopkins on his wing, and then Henrique or Szymanski. Like there isn't a team in the league with that's stronger down the middle than that. You can't. There's just no chance, right? You got two top 10 scorers.
That would be it. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, Colorado's close, but you're right. Their second line center isn't as productive as Draisaitl.
He's not Draisaitl. And they're, Dickinson is a classic third line center. I'm not telling you he's the best third line center in the league, but he's everything you want out of a 3C. And then they got a veteran guy that wins draws at 4C in Henrique. So that's a huge advantage over almost any team they're going to face here. So if Dickinson gets back and they can play that card and have that advantage and push Nugent Hopkins to a wing, that's fine. Keep Savoy up high. You spread your offense out. Like, their forward ranks are good. They got good forwards when they're healthy, man. And they might be a little thinner on defense this season with no Kulak back there, but
yeah. See, I don't know about that. Ekholm didn't play the first 3 rounds, so
that's fair too.
Yeah,
sure.
Like, I would argue that with Bouchard, Nurse, Murphy, and Ekholm, their top 4 is better than the top 4 last year's.
It is.
Yeah.
Sure, that's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, nobody has everything. It's a cap system. There's a place on your team where every team looks and says, man, I wish we had a little more there. For Edmonton, it's probably like their 7th and 8th defenseman. Well, guess what? You know what? You can't have everything. So if they get goaltending, like I'd ask you this. I was thinking of this today, Jay. If the Oilers had 10% better goaltending, where would they be? If the last 2 seasons they had 10% better goaltending, you think they'd have won something?
Yeah, maybe. I look at how they got Stanley Cup final. Stuart Skinner was great against Dallas that year. They get to the Cup final. They're down 3-0, then they win 3 in a row. And you know what? They lose a game by 1 goal.
And they only let in 2 in the road. I get it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I know I should have made that save. I'm like, yeah. What I would argue, your forwards got to score a goal too, right? Like your big guys didn't get points down the stretch. So yeah, it's always hard because if you're, how are you getting 10% better, right? Is it a more expensive cap? And who are you taking out of the lineup when you're improving their position?
Ingram 10% better. That's my point. Like I'm not sure because I haven't seen him play a playoff game yet. But the way his season's trending, he's playing better and better and better and better. I can't remember certainly in the last 4 or 5 years, the Oilers going into the playoffs with a goalie that looks this solid. I think he looks great. And if this game continues through the playoffs, that's my point. And he is able to give the Oilers a higher level of goaltending than Skinner ever gave them. How much better is this team?
Yeah, well, that's fair. I always like to remind people in 2024, because that was Knobloch's first year, right? When he took over for the final 69 games, in those 69 games, Stuart Skinner started 50 of them. He was top 6 in goals saved above expected, save percentage, and goals against average. He actually went into the playoffs very good. Now, obviously, he didn't have great against Vancouver, and missed 2 games, and then was fine. But so they actually had pretty good goaltending heading into that one. But I get it. Yeah, but no, not really good. Ingram's not top 7 in all 3 of those statistics over 50 games. I'll tell you that, right? He's not.
No.
So, but he does look calmer. And I think right now, because he's playing well, but more importantly, like last night, he could have played that game in a rocking chair. Like, honestly, right? Like the Oilers team defense, he's played good and made some big saves in the Colorado game. I thought he made some really timely saves. Awesome. So they've got confidence in him, but their team defense here has like the Nurse Murphy pair, Ekholm and Bouchard are good, but I would argue lately the Nurse Murphy pair has been their best defensive pair. And that's huge for this team.
Well, I mean, it's a little chicken and the egg. Like what, if you have better goaltending, are you better defensively? If you're better defensively, all of a sudden your goalie's better.
Sure.
And I get that. And this team's pretty mature. Like they've been through this a lot now. They have a very good grasp of how to play, and how to defend and when to take a chance and when not to and all that stuff. They're very practiced at this. So, you know what? Maybe it just turns out that Ingram's in the right place at the right time. I don't know. But I just feel like a team that when you see lately they've been playing excellent team defense. The Murphy-Nurse pair's got a lot to do with that. But as a team, they've been really good. Not giving up anything. And this guy in goal, Ingram, has been fantastic.
Yeah.
So between the two, they're pretty well armed for a playoff run.
They are. The thing that I think Ingram, like he's earned the trust of his teammates. There's no question about that. I think they like his attitude. I like Matthias Ekholm when he goes, hey man, this guy's been through a lot. And you know what? He's come out the other side. It's the old Andy Dufresne line, right? He swam through the 400 meters or whatever, and he came out the other side. And that's kind of Connor Ingram. Like he's been through a lot. And You know what? He gets frustrated at himself in a shootout for sure.
Well, sure.
But other than that, right? Like there's like this guy, like after games, you know what? Geez, I didn't really have to do much tonight. Like he's very calm. And I think his attitude fits in on a team that at times can be pretty. I think sometimes their high-end guys are pretty like thoroughbreds, like a race car. They're high strung. I think that his demeanor matches well with that team. And Stu Skinner was a pretty laid back guy, but I think Ingram might be even more laid back.
Yeah, maybe. It's hard to be more laid back than Stu was. That's for sure. And listen, it's all timing here. You know, it's all timing. The Oilers have had a couple long runs. Didn't go their way. This is a new season, a new team. They got new guys. But I'm trying to think in my own mind sort of how this team looked on this day last year and on this day 2 years ago, knowing where it ended, knowing that they were good enough to get within reach of the Stanley Cup. And when I look at this team compared to those last two teams, you know, I'm asking myself, in some elements, they look like they're better, frankly. And I know they only got 93 points, and I know they always got 100, and I couldn't care less about all that stuff. I don't care how they played in October, November, December, January. None of that crap matters to me. It's how you're playing now. And the way they're playing now and the personnel they got, and now they got a goalie here, I like the looks of them, Jason.
Going to be interesting to see. I can't wait till it starts against the Ducks. We'll break it down on Monday. Spec, have yourself a wonderful weekend.
All right, Jay, you too.
There you go. That's Mark Spectre, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. We'll come back. LT, Cam Tate to wrap up a busy week and a busy Friday on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk, elevate your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Hold on to your hockey helmets, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 69-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadian and Coors Light for $5.75. Plus, OTR's TVs are so clear, you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? Score and win every game night during Edmonton's playoff run with specials starting 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton sports leader. Sports 1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Mr. Rooter sees a UFO.
Mr. Rooter says 1 plunge, 2. What's this? A UFO? An unidentified floating object. It's beginning to glow and levitate.
Thank you, Mr. Rooter. You have freed us from the gravity of the white hole. Humanity will be spared.
Wow! People aren't going to believe this when I put it in our new commercial.
If you want to believe in a plumber, call Mr. Rooter.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Equipment Auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. featuring backhoes, excavators, forklifts, man lifts, wheel loaders, packers, road reclaimers, skid steers, telehandlers, turf mowers, plus commercial trailers and more. Info at maauctions.com.
It's the EV for City Wildlife, the all-new, all-electric 2026 Subaru Uncharted. Quick charging with get-up and go performance. And best of all, so much fun. So test drive the all-new, all-electric 2026 Uncharted today and discover why it's definitely the Subaru for you. The EV for City Wildlife. To learn more about this very exciting arrival and all things Subaru, start here. Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Industrial Auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. featuring Japa Equipment Rentals realignment with 5 2022 to 2020 XCMG 250U, 300U, 360U, and 490U excavators. Search Japa at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Awesome Friday. Man, there's just something about the playoffs. Intensity ratchets up. Hopefully not on the road, though. Keep calm. Smile, relax. Hey, don't worry. You cut me off. I got the playoffs. I'm good. Serenity now. It's fantastic. Fantastic. But trust me, the emotion, the energy will really ramp up. Probably just watching it. You know what? I don't even care. I'll watch any playoff game. I can't wait. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's games every night. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And, my lovely wife even was like, hey, playoffs are coming. You're going to be watching a lot of games. I'm like, yep, you can come on down right now. There's ways to make things fair and even. I've got a few strategies. Can't necessarily say what they are, but can make it worth both people's while for sure. So it's good. It's good to watch a few of our own shows more, and that's for sure upstairs. Let's get to LT. Talk a little NHL, maybe some MLB, and more. LT, how you doing? LT, are you there? You awake?
I sure am. I'm looking at a beautiful day. Beautiful day.
It is nice. It's a nice day. Al, I crunched the numbers on NHL games played, playoff experience around the NHL, and Vasilevsky and Anderson has a lot. Ottinger and Stu Skinner. After that, there's not a lot. There's no one else with even 20 playoff games on their resume. Swayman's got 18. Allmark's got 15. Hart's got 14. Blackwood has 7. Ingram 3. Dobish 2. Dostal, Forsberg, Luukkonen, Vejmelka, Vladar, Wallstead 0. Wedgwood 0. Now Tristan Jarry has 8, but still not a lot. Hasn't won a playoff series. Does that then kind of make things a lot even? Maybe Tampa has a goalie advantage. We'll see. But in a lot of these series, like Dallas, maybe because of Ottinger over Wallstead. But in a lot of the other series, like Ingram, Dostal, 3-0, right? Like Forsberg and Wedgwood, like 0-0 if it's Wedgwood. So, or 7 if it's Blackwood. Like it might just come down to, I know everybody says the position's that important. I would argue, Al, in 2026, the goalie position is less important than ever. Because of how if you play good team defense and you have a solid goalie, you're good. If you play leaky team defense, your goalie can't save you.
It's so true. And especially for the Oilers, who in the last 10 games before the end of the year or so, about from the 25th of March on, their save percentage is like, I think Ingram's like 920, something like that. They give up a little over 2 goals per 60 at 5-on-5 per game. This is a different team. We came into the year and we're talking about, is Savoy going to, gain some experience? There were a lot of questions. And there were certainly questions about the goaltending and the defense. And I'll give Stan Bowman credit because I think he had a really good deadline. But I also think that they brought Savoy along at pace, and he's really helped them. He's a fairly complete player. And defensively, when they made the Murphy trade, and I think they tweaked a little bit of the outlet passes and the structure of the defense and how they were going to go about getting out of their zone. It's made a world of difference. Now, there's a chance they're going to have to tweak again because other teams are scouting them and they're going to come up with something. But the two things that I think that will carry Edmonton if they go deep again this year are I like their depth, and I think that their goaltending can play in front of this defense, maybe in a way that we haven't seen before. I think Stuart Skinner played brilliantly against Dallas 2 years in a row, but he had some struggles, in other series. I think the consistency of the defense is really going to help out Ingram. So I'd say the defense of Edmonton would be more of a key because we've seen it. We've seen Ingram play well when they play a controlled game defensively. And that's what the last 10 games, that's what Edmonton has done. It's pretty encouraging, actually, the way they played.
Yeah, they've been very good defense. I crunched the numbers, and in their last 10 games, only Colorado's better amongst all the remaining playoff teams in goals against average. They're at 2, and Edmonton's at 2.2. And then you got Anaheim at the other end of the spectrum. Al, they give up a ton. And I was listening to a Joel Quenneville interview today on Sirius on my way in, and he's like, "Hey, if we," and he even said it, if we can defend, then we got a chance. And we've had good stretches of defending and really bad stretches of defending. And then we just came through a bad stretch again, he said. So we're going to have to turn it around. They're an inexperienced team. It is the playoffs. Everything's brand new. I understand that. Anything can happen. You win one game and all of a sudden your confidence is sky high and there you go. But I look at this series, Al, and I have a hard time finding out how Anaheim's going to push Edmonton in this series.
Well, they'll have to play, if they are going to, I think they're going to have to roughhouse a little bit. They've got some, pretty filthy defensemen. I think they're going to have to be in your face. The Oilers have, I think, prepared for that with guys like Doc and Frederick is playing a different game. That line, I think, is going to be key. But the Ducks have to stay out of the penalty box. The Oilers, if Draisaitl can play in some of this series, I just don't think there's very many teams that can run with the top two lines at 5-on-5. So it comes down to can Anaheim's young forwards find a way to be just so elusive and brilliant that they can outscore the mistakes made on the other end? I think the answer is no. I think a year from now, Anaheim will be a better team, but it's not that they're not ready to be here. It's just I don't think they're ready to beat a team what is their veteran team? You talked about goaltending, but beyond that, the defense has plenty of experience. The forwards have been to war, and in Hellebuyck the last 2 years. So the Oilers are probably a pretty bad fit for Anaheim, and I think Anaheim's a great pick for the Oilers. In terms of what they could have been facing, this was a pretty outstanding opportunity to play a team that I think is not quite ready. And I don't mean that in a negative way. They've just come a long way quickly.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's a negative. In the Oilers in 2017, they weren't ready. No one thought the Oilers were going to go to the Cup that year, right? And, hey, they won a series, which was great, right? That they played well. But the team they beat was kind of at the tail end of their decade of really good, where the Oilers are still in there. And that's, to me, kind of the difference of the two teams right now. And, hey, they want – and the other thing is Edmonton has learned enough. They've had enough heartbreak. I don't think they will take Anaheim lightly at all in this series. And I think if anything, they've learned that the biggest weapon they can have is rest. So the quicker they can dispatch of Anaheim, the better.
Yeah. These two Stanley Cup final losses have worn on this team in a big way. And I for most of this year, I was like, man, this team, I don't know, they don't seem to me to be, finding answers to problems. They weren't on a winning streak. That trade deadline, and I've spent most of the time looking at Dickinson, who is an upgrade, I think, on the third line. I think Murphy was an upgrade on the second pairing. But I'm really excited about this Doc fellow. I mean, like, he's got some things going on. I mean, he's got a little bit of an offensive side to him. He's physical. He and Frederick are just, you know, the Oilers haven't had a nasty mean streak line. They've had guys like Kane, but they're kind of an outlier and a one-off, and they usually end up in penalties. This line, I think they're going to punish the daylights out of the defensemen on the other side. They're just a bunch of, you know, and they're fast enough to do it. Frederick had the high ankle sprain. He wasn't fast enough to do it before. But I think Doc has been a real addition because he's an edgy guy, and he's got a lot of confidence and swagger. And the Oilers, I think they kind of needed that. And that was a good trade deadline move by Stan Bowman.
Oh, yeah, without question. Doc's added a lot to their team, and Frederick's healthy. And, you know, Josh Szymanski, like, the Oilers will be in a good problem. When Draisaitl and Dickinson come in, then you look and say, okay, well, you know, Lazar comes out of the lineup, and who else is coming out of the lineup, right? Like, that's how it's gonna be. So, to me, that's a very good problem to have.
Yeah, and there's stuff you can never tell. You know, like we sit here and we go, you know, okay, this and this and this are going to happen. But remember who elevated their game a year ago or 2 years ago when, you know, Janmark and Brown were penalty killing like crazy, or Brett Kulak was just playing the best hockey of his, you know, of the whole year. We don't know the storylines, but we know that everybody would appear to be capable of playing the role that's to be asked of them. And that's the encouraging thing. And that fourth line that we just talked about, that could be, you know, brilliant. I think Henrique is playing, some of the better hockey he's played since coming to Edmonton. That they seem healthier and more prepared than they were. And, Leon's had a lot of rest. Hyman back. Savoy has developed. Podkolzin's developed. There's more youth on this team, and I think that will help them too in terms of pace. I mean, the last two teams went to the Stanley Cup final. I'm not going to predict that. But I do think what they've done is they've addressed areas of perceived weakness with legitimate solutions. And now it's just a matter of everybody staying healthy. And obviously, there's a little bit of luck going all the way to the Stanley Cup final.
Yes, health is a big one for sure. Al, give me your thoughts in the Eastern Conference series. Who you like out of the four teams? Who's moving on?
I think it's going to be Carolina. Carolina, Tampa Bay are the two teams that I think that anybody in the West would be most concerned about. I like Montreal's future a ton. I'm frankly astounded Philadelphia made it, but I'm interested in that. I think Pittsburgh's a fun team. Buffalo is a great story. I'd love to see Buffalo, but I think it's going to be the South again, and I think it's going to be Carolina as opposed to Tampa Bay. But either of those teams for me would be the ones to track here in the next while.
Vegas, Utah series, Colorado, LA, and Dallas Mini. Who do you like?
It's close for me, but I think Vegas wins the Utah series. I think Colorado goes away, and the Minnesota Dallas series is just unfair. But I think I'm going to take Minnesota just because I really like their depth, and they're a pretty complete team, and I think that Wallstead fellow's going to have a good series.
Al, have a great weekend. We will chat with you on Monday.
All right, playoff hockey, baby, and it's springtime. Giddy up.
There you go. That is Alan Mitchell, a.k.a. Low Tide, host of Noon to 2 on Sports 1440. Come back with Cam Tate and wrap things up on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lottery, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play.
Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. Use code 1440 for 15% off at notalonecode.com. It's okay to not be okay.
When life unexpectedly changes, it can leave us feeling unbalanced, uncertain, and unsure of how to move forward. But you don't have to go through it alone. I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. Our team helps reestablish balance, guiding you through your divorce with compassion, clarity, and support. Fairway has helped more than 6,500 families across Canada find a path towards a peaceful, fair resolution. With 2 offices in Edmonton, we're here to make your journey easier. Discover your options at Fairway Divorce.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Yeah, waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
It's here. The Ford, it's a big Not yet. The Ford, it's a big deal. Oh, guys, just wait. The Ford, it's a big deal event is on. Really? Now. Hurry in to lease a 2026 F-150 STX with black appearance package from $237 bi-weekly at 0% APR for 36 months with $54.90 down. That's like $119 a week. The Ford, it's a big deal event. Visit your Alberta Ford store or Ford.ca.
Hi everyone, Sarah
and Neil
from Arcan RV.
We are back and we're celebrating spring with Arcan Days.
Well, we were always here. We've been around for 49 years.
That's true. We're kicking off another amazing RV season with some huge deals, showcasing our new brand, Cougar, Raptor Toy Haulers, and Coleman Trailers starting at just $17,999.
Plus, special finance rates on remaining 2025 models with an extra $2,500 trade-in credit. Check out arcanrv.com for details. Connecting you to RVing since 1977.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Welcome back. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. We always appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. Make Declan's weekend. It'll be a positive Friday. 10 of you before the top of the hour. Just go hit the subscribe button. Be great. It's easy. Costs you nothing to make someone's day. Literally costs you about 30 seconds of your life. YouTube Sports 1440. Let's get to Cam Tate now in the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change, no overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Here is Cam Tate. Did he send it to you, Cons?
Yeah, let me check here quickly.
Yeah. Tater's got to realize that he has to send it to me if he wants me to read it, because he didn't send it to me. So you'll need to forward it.
I will forward it to you right now.
There we go. So
he's got to get the right email.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, Tater, this is put the whiskey down and remember which email you sent it to. So there you go. I get to read. So I thought sometimes I read it, sometimes I don't. I hadn't received it, so I just assumed he had sent it to you. So there you go. That's our screw up. Now it's back on track. Let's get to Tater's 2-minute warning that I will read Tate's words right now. Someone once told me, if you open a can of worms, it's up to you and nobody else to collect them and put them back in the can. Okay, let them go free. I have some cleaning up to do. Early on the Gregor Show, Reggie McClellan was on talking about wheelchair basketball since the Canadian Wheelchair Basketball Championship is in Edmonton this weekend. Just so happens to be the 50th anniversary of the Alberta Northern Lights wheelchair basketball team based out of Edmonton. McClellan founded the Lights in 1976. So he emailed Gregor a few key points about the history of the Northern Lights. One big story was in Lexington, Kentucky in 1985. The Northern Lights became the first Canadian team to make the National Wheelchair Basketball Association Final Four. I was on the story exclusively for the Edmonton Journal. I heard rumblings the Americans were not a very happy bunch. The Canadians were in the Final Four. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Brent Patterson was the Lights coach. The team's GM, Gary McPherson, found out Patterson had a minor case of spina bifida. At that time, there was a movement afoot to get more people with various disabilities. Patterson played university ball with the Golden Bears. McPherson asked Patterson if he would consider becoming a player coach if he could qualify under the NWBA's classification system. Patterson said yes, and he was classified. Patterson being classified, she started playing. The Lights reached a new level. They were good, real good. Now back to Lexington. On the morning of the first game of the Final Four, everyone was tested to make sure they were in fact playing to their classification. I remember on the bus at the hotel to the gym, Patterson, he looked nervous, very nervous. A half hour later, he was disqualified from the Final Four. Classification committee determined he had too much balance to play. But McPherson was a great man of integrity. He wanted to withdraw from the tournament. The players said no. The Lights did play. In their first game, they were down 18 points at the half, had 18 fouls called against them in the first half. The Lights finished fourth. So do I put the worm back in the can or do I set them free? They didn't boycott. They actually finished. There you go, Tater. I had to finish the story. I was like, and now the rest of the story from Cam Tate today. So they that's why, you know what, they take it very serious, as they should. Because, you know, people are going to, we see able-bodied athletes cheat all the time. People will do it in sports. There's a competitive desire that at times pushes people too far. And, but the classification system, I'm sure back in 1976 in the U.S., the Americans were never happy. Did they potentially say, wow, he's got too much balance? Well, based on what? I have no idea. That'd be a great story to dig into deeper. Have a great weekend, everyone. Please, whatever you do, don't drink and drive. Don't be inebriated and drive. Get home safe. Plan ahead. Get an Uber. Get a ride share. Get a cab. Get a DD. Whatever it is. Just get home safe so you can watch all the games. More importantly, be with your loved ones. On behalf of Connor Halley and Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Let's get to the con man. On our final Sports 1440 update brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Do you need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes. And they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.com or .ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Tonight in the NHL before the Stanley Cup playoffs get going tomorrow. The Edmonton Oilers recalling goaltender Calvin Pickard on emergency basis from the Condors. Meanwhile, Vancouver Canucks parting ways with GM Patrick Alvin. In the association, playing games rolling on. The Magic right now on top of the Hornets. 22-10 in the first quarter. Later tonight, Suns and Warriors meet from Phoenix. Tip-off 8 o'clock. In the majors, the Blue Jays kicking off a series against the Diamondbacks. First pitch, 7:40. We'll have that one for you here on Sports 1440's AM feed. If you're listening on the line, you get Fox Sports Radio. Right now, Giants up on the Nationals 8-1. Pirates have a 1-0 lead over the Rays. The Braves in Philly leading 7-0. While the Orioles and Guardians scoreless heading into the sixth. Earlier today with the Cubbies beating up on the Mets